All right, it's good friends, good games. And did I actually hit the live tweet button? I forgot to send the tweet out. There it goes. The tweet's out now.
Nobody knows we're here.
No one knows we're here. All right. No, everyone knows we're here. Okay. All right, we're all here.
Everyone meaning Morgan?
Morgan, are you actually
Why you
here?
gotta go? Why you gotta go live chat shame us?
I'm not. I'm really not. I just Morgan's here like immediately at the beginning. Like it's like I just mean in the sense that she's
Morgan's just lurking, that's all.
She's there and ready and
My girlfriend didn't even show up.
You can count on Morgan being here, like you can count on your 4-year-old child waking you up at 6 a.m. on Christmas morning.
I used to get my parents up at 5, dude.
Yes.
I was a horrible kid. I got my parents up at 5 to open gifts. They literally went to bed at like 4.
my parents' bedroom door was locked.
Nice.
There was no bombarding Christmas morning. It was, you got to be patient. It's like, all right, Mom.
Did you ever do the thing? Did you ever do the thing where you go down, like open it and then look at it and then rewrap it?
No, I was not that.
You're not that clever, huh?
But we would always try and like look, we'd look in the, parents' closet and the typical hiding spots.
Yeah, my dad had a whole closet in the garage.
Never very successful.
I was actually really good and just respected my parents' words. Like, I
do now. Like, I appreciate the element of surprise, but Josh will like pick up a box and he's like, "This is a book, isn't it?" Or like, "This is Legos," because you can like shake it. He's like, he'll like guess what's within the wrapping paper. He won't open it up. He'll just like pick it up and be like, "Oh, this is the weight of this thing." It's like, how'd you know?
This feels like a TV. TV shaped
feels like a TV.
Yes.
I'm
You
gonna
bring
go.
in this like 6 foot wide, 6 foot by 4 foot wide box.
If I become a parent, which I'm gonna assume is gonna happen fairly soon enough at some point here. That's not. I'm not saying anything happening.
You're getting hopes up there.
Disclosure.
If I'm a parent one day, what I'm gonna do is whenever my kids are legal driving age, they're gonna go outside and they're gonna see a car wrapped up in wrapping paper, and they're like, "Oh my god, you got me a car!" They unwrap it; it's a car made of Lego.
Yes.
I'm gonna Indiana
Might even
Jones
be
that
more
shit.
expensive than a real car.
You know what? You're right.
Did you see? Go ahead, Doe. Did you forget what you were gonna say?
Dill. Did you? She said, "Go ahead," and then you just drew a blank.
What was happening?
Did you see? Did you see that? Crap! What is the car that they turned? It was They turned a real car into a Lego car, and it has an engine in it and everything. My head's going to Lamborghini immediately, but it's not a Lamborghini.
I think it's a Lamborghini. It's either a Lamborghini or a Porsche. It's one of those two.
I thought it was a.
Sounds like a Mr. Beast video.
Does sound like a Mr. Beast video.
They put an engine in it, so apparently it's functional.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm thinking, like, hold on a second. When the Legos melt.
Well, they probably have like some kind of like husk for the engine to make sure that they can contain the heat inside the car,
right?
So that it doesn't melt all the Lego.
Or some high
so they probably
plastics.
have like other. Yeah, they probably also have like some kind of like cooling system. So I'm pretty sure they got something that would allow it to like stay functional.
All I know is when I become a parent and it's time to hide the Christmas presents, because I know they're gonna go looking for them, right? I'm gonna Indiana Jones that shit. There's literally gonna be booby traps. It's gonna be like Nerf arrows and everything. Like just kid tries to open the closet and just get Nerf arrows.
There's a Bugatti.
Yeah, that actually
drivable Bugatti. I'm not a car person, so please don't correct me. Is it Chiron? Is it Chiron?
Chiron.
I believe it's Chiron.
Chiron.
Okay.
It's a Chiron, or yeah, something like that.
I'm not Italian.
Neither am I. But I watched. I know.
I don't even think
the
Bugattis
Grand
are
Tour.
Italian.
Is it not?
I
German.
can't remember. Yeah, German.
German.
I think it's owned by Volkswagen, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Okay,
something
but
like
Bugatti totally looks like a pasta name, does it not?
Oh yeah, it even has the
I'm going
logo
to
that
eat
matches the box.
Bugatti. I'm going to eat the Bugatti.
I'm just waiting for the Bugatti-shaped pasta now.
Car
They
shape.
got the Bugatti Costco pasta.
It's for the flesh.
Fresh. Uh-oh, she's dying.
I apologize. I am still recovering from my cold, so I'll have to
no.
mute and unmute ever so often here. But
So on the topic, some people want to hear this, some don't. But I've been asked to share the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life. So I had to go to the dentist. I believe it was a root canal. So I
Oh,
went to the
God.
dentist. If I remember right, it was a root canal. So I went to the dentist, right? And you go to the dentist, they shoot that Novocaine with the needle thing in your lip there, and they're supposed to numb your mouth. So the guy does it, right? And I'm numb. Like I feel numb. And he's like, "Are you numb?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna start working." And then he starts doing the thing, the drill, all that jazz, right? Oh no, it gets better. He does the drill, and I'm starting to feel like a burning sensation in my mouth from the drill. And I'm going like, and he's like, "Are you feeling that?" And I'm like nodding, and he's like, "Okay, hang on." This man takes the Novocaine needle, and he opens my mouth and just fires the Novocaine right into the open wound of my tooth.
Oh.
And I groaned in pain. That was the most excruciating pain I had felt, at least that I can remember. Like, that was the most excruciating pain. Like, I will never forget that pain I felt. I was like groaning in pain in the chair, and I have a high pain tolerance.
Does he think that this is something that dentists can actually do? Did he fucking get fired for that?
I hope he did.
no, I've heard of people shooting Novocaine straight in the
Yeah.
tooth.
Oh, okay.
I guess it's one of those
it's a
things.
thing. It's just
It has to get to the nerve. So in order for him,
Yeah.
like, because otherwise he has to stop, and I'm probably bleeding out or something in my mouth. So he's like got to stop to let the Novocaine kick in. I think if it goes straight into the nerve, it's quicker. Like it's a quicker effectiveness. But like that was brutal. And then he finished the work, and then he finished the work, and I left, and there was just this kid sitting in the waiting room with his mom, like just blank stare at the wall.
oh.
Guess what, kid? You're next.
I have a bad relationship with the dentist because I was not one of those fortunate kids who, would come, we get a checkup every year and be like, "Oh, you're all good, all done." And I was like, "No, you got like 2 cavities. Like, come back." And I guess I have really poor enamel, which sucks. So I'm prone to getting cavities, and
Yeah,
so
same here.
I just have the greatest fear with the dentist. I just hate the dentist. And so
Dude, I
don't
hate
even
it too.
I don't even remember the last time I went to the dentist. Was just really bad, but it's true. I can't remember the last time to go.
It's not even the pain factor. Like I know the dentist can hurt. It's not even the pain factor I deal with. It's the pain of my wallet, because every time I go, they find
Yeah.
something. And the
That
dude's like, "You have abnormally large molars, so you are prone to getting
Okay.
food caught in there because it doesn't
Okay.
like fall out or brush out because my molars."
Mine are
Yeah.
I have like no gaps in my teeth.
Yeah. So
And
he's
so
like,
I
every
have
time.
all the gaps in my teeth. I haven't been to a dentist since I had it coverage in college. That's how
Oh.
long it's been.
that's about how long it's been for me.
Yeah. I mean,
at least I want to say like 10 years.
okay.
I want to
Yeah.
say like 10 years at this
Oh,
point.
dude. Yeah,
I
if I do
mean-
that, like they'll find something. Now I just go every year, and I'm like, no,
If-
I'll be here. I don't want to pay any more than I have to. Just clean my teeth.
I know
Yeah.
that initial appointment is going to be really nasty.
I'm looking forward to my very first dentist appointment when I finally do have benefits. And the dentist would be like, "This is my worst nightmare."
You think it's going to be that bad?
Yes.
I've had someone Morgan here is in the chat and saying she might have to do her wisdom tooth. I've had that done too. One of mine broke. Like one of my wisdom tooth broke, and the guy couldn't like grab it with the thing. So he had to like chisel a little mound out of my broken wisdom tooth just to get it out.
I had all 4 of them done at once. I feel very
Good
lucky.
for you. I did 3. I had the other 3 left, and I did all 3 and had that. Yeah. It wasn't that bad. It's like I got punched in the face really hard, and then I was sore for a day or 2, and that was it.
Go ahead, Zen.
My teeth have been so messed up ever since I went face first right into a piece of playground equipment.
Ooh.
And ever since then, like, not only do they have to like yank out a bunch of teeth because like a bunch of my teeth got pushed up into my gums, but I'm still like feeling like the effects of it, because apparently like there were still like a couple, like it took forever for like a lot of my baby teeth to come out. I actually still have 2 baby teeth stuck in my mouth, and they just don't want to come out. And I have wisdom teeth that like I can feel them at like they haven't even grown in yet. They're at like the side of my mouth over here, and I'm like,
they probably won't.
Are you guys coming out or not?
They probably won't.
Nah, we're good. No,
you're at the. I think you're at the point now where it's like what's done is done.
Yeah, my mouth is an absolute fucking nightmare.
Chibi's in the chat here. Based on the details of the pain, Erik sounds like he gave birth, but orally. Honestly, what I've experienced at the dentist over the years, I'd be like, throw the childbirth on. Like, I'll tackle it. Let's see what's up.
Do you really? Have you thought about this?
Okay.
Have you thought about this?
This is me we're talking about here. I don't think about a lot of things. Sometimes I'm just like, let's go and see what happens. Like, roll the dice. Let's see what happens.
I'm not saying we discuss it at length right now, but you know, when you're lying in bed and you're having a hard time sleeping, that is the moment where you need to think, what's worse, dental, childbirth?
I mean, everyone's got a different pain tolerance.
Have at it. Have at it.
I need an epidural for a mouth. All right. But yeah, that was my excruciating pain story. Anyone got anything exciting before we get into the video games?
I've got a dentist appointment in 2 days.
Exciting, but
Feels like I gotta go to the dentist.
No, I actually do. I generally do have a dentist appointment in 2 days. Like, after all that.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I'm seeing them on
we
Monday.
have properly freaked you out.
I mean, to be fair, this one that I've been going to them for like the last 2 years, and they've been all right, honestly. The only reason why I actually went, I didn't go for about 5 years in a row. It was as a filling was just starting to fall out completely from my tooth, so I had to get it redone. And the only thing that I was dreading was the needle, because the last time a dentist tried to put a needle in my mouth, I nearly passed out. Like, genuinely.
Are you afraid of needles?
I'm not a fan. I can tolerate them, but like I have to look away. But I can't really look away when the thing's going straight in my mouth. So when he did it, I closed my eyes. Like when he put it in my mouth.
He shows it to you. He does that whole thing where he like squeezes. Yeah, he shows it to you and he squeezes it. You can see it like drip out before he does it.
Yeah. Oh, what a horrible guy.
Yeah. So I closed my eyes, and then he did the procedure, did it very well. The filling's still there, like 2 years later and everything like that, and I feel no pain from it at all. So,
Do you? Okay, so is this a common thing to do? I loved my dentist. He was a really nice guy, and he was funny. He tried to lighten the mood. I appreciate dentists who try to lighten the mood.
Yeah.
But when he put in the shot, it wasn't like he put in the shot. It was like he'd like wiggle my cheek.
Yeah, it's so it coasts.
Is that a common? Is that a common thing, or is that something that he did because he was a great dentist?
It's so
like distract your.
No, I think it's so it coasts in, like the needle kind of coasts in. So he's like gently pushing it in as he wiggles, so it'll kind of like glide in versus just.
You don't think it's a distraction tactic?
No, I don't think. I think there's a because every dentist I've been to has done the wiggle thing. I think it's so the needle like coasts in and.
Okay.
Interesting.
Is it bad also that after the filling, I went to work not long after?
What?
No. Yeah,
I
I had the
had
feeling,
the-
and then a few hours later I went to work.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to function after.
When
Yeah.
I did the
Yeah.
when I did the wisdom tooth thing, they told me I couldn't smoke for like 48 hours or whatever. I went to work and I was in the back already. Like,
You're horrible. You know, did you get cotton mouth? Because that's why they tell you not to do it, because of cotton
they
mouth.
told me it's so the thing doesn't like the what do they put, like the packing stuff to, so it heals.
Yeah, the cotton
told-
or whatever.
Yeah, so they don't like, so it doesn't pop out. And I was like, oh, I'm fine. You just have to do it one-sided. You just kind of have to like.
It's the same reason that they don't want you to like suck through a straw. It has something to do with like
Oh yeah, of course.
the dryness of your mouth or whatever.
Young Eric did not think logically. Okay, like
Okay.
20-year-old Eric did a lot of stupid things.
Well, I'm shaming 40-year-old Erik right now for mistakes done 20 years ago.
I mean, if Doc Brown shows up with the DeLorean, I will be like, you need to go to Arizona, talk to this girl named Everis, and go back to 20-year-old Eric so she could yell at him. You know?
You wouldn't listen to me. Would you have listened to me? I'd be like, oh no, whatever.
Who are you?
Well, yeah. First off, I'd be like, who the hell are you?
Who the fuck are you?
What the hell is Twitch? Like,
Who the hell is Twitch?
God, yeah, 2000. So that means that Eric, it was 20 in 2004,
correct. I graduated in
means-
2001.
which means I was 8 years old.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I lived through the whole emo era. Like, I lived through it. Like,
You did.
Thrived.
Yeah.
in those 2000s,
Avril-
My Chemical
The
Romance, the
Avril
whole shebang.
Lavigne's, My Chemical
It was
Romance.
still pretty prevalent in my time.
Yeah, it all the way through like 2010. All the way
Yeah.
through 2010, it was like the thing. But I lived through that whole era, and I would never change it for the world. It was fun and exciting. Before we get into video games, I was watching TikToks, and
Uh-oh.
I got this video, and it's this mother, and she says, "I've waited 15 years for this moment." And it's her dropping off her son at the local punk venue club.
Okay.
And she's like, "Go ahead, have a good time, enjoy yourself." It is the same club I went to when I was 16 years old.
Oh.
So I got
Aw.
kind of like a little bit like
Nostalgic.
misty, a little
It's come
misty
full
eyed.
circle.
Yeah, it's a full circle thing. It's a little misty eyed, a little tear jerker, and I'm like, I like put the comments. I rarely leave comments on things, and I was like, I hope your son just builds a lifetime of memories he takes with him forever there, because that's one of the places I basically lived my high school years.
Love it.
I'm pretty sure my blood's on the floor still somewhere.
Probably.
I took a couple beatings of that in that place. Good
Hey.
times. Never take them back. All right. Video games.
Oh,
So, Morgan, what? Speaking of be right back bathroom, I've got headphones with me.
Huh?
Jesus.
Huh?
I have
she's
a
a
horror story
dedicated
for
one.
I have a horror story that happened to me yesterday for any streamer.
What happened?
This is what I did over the last 24 hours. So, some of you may know my alerts were not working. Some of them
Okay.
were and some of them weren't. It was very weird. Subs would work, regular subs. I think prime subs work too. Raids did not work. Gift subs did not work. Follows worked. So it was like a weird combination. It's like, and it was all under the same. This is not me trying to bash on Stream Elements, but I was using Stream Elements and it was all under the same thing, right? Because when you go through the idea behind Stream Elements is one layout for everything. You know, you could put all of your alerts on one template or whatever. You know what I mean? So it was all under the same page. So it wasn't like separated. Okay, so that was the weird part about it, and I was trying to figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. So yesterday I was like, screw it. It's going to take way more time for me to figure this out as to just redo it all.
Yeah.
So I did. I was like, we're going back to Streamlabs, because at least I can, pinpoint each individual alert not working. And so I did, and it took about 2 to 3 hours
Oh,
to do all of them. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that once I was done, I found out that I was under the profile. I was under a different browser, and I was under the profile of my bots alerts.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
And so I had to do it all over again on my streamer profile. I
Shit.
was so
Ugh.
I was so
Well,
mad. Ah!
Lesson
That's-
learned. I'll make sure you check the right account.
Now you know.
Story of my life.
Yeah.
Story of my life.
Why
Everis, if
didn't
only
you-
you
Gotta
double
love being a
check.
streamer when
I'm just curious, because why didn't you just go to Twitch's side? Because Twitch can actually use alerts now.
I didn't know that was really an option.
Yeah,
That's a
Twitch has
thing?
an alert section. Yeah, Twitch has an alert section now. That's what I use
Yeah,
now.
Okay.
What's actually interesting is if you use Twitch's alerts, they will give you 2 extra emote slots.
Hmm.
What is the
Right.
level
Thanks,
of
guys. Just after I updated my alerts to tell me
Now
that
you
there's
know.
yet another
Well,
option.
My question is, what is the level of customization I can do with Twitch's alerts? Is there like a full
Pretty-
suite or
Yeah.
How does it
there's a-
compare to Twitch?
It's got a lot of
Streamlabs?
default ones similar to the Streamlabs and Stream Elements, and it's also you can upload your own, you can customize them, you can also customize it for certain channel points as well. You can have a lot of channel points too. So if someone redeems something on channel points, it'll give you an alert so that you can
Oh man.
do that. Yeah.
I am not happy that you said that.
Sorry. The only thing it doesn't have is obviously for something for like tips, like someone tips you, because there's no way of being able to do it through.
I can also, but what I can do is I can do both, right?
Yeah, you
I can
do
go
both.
into like Twitch alerts
Yeah.
and be like, I'll do all these for redemptions,
Yeah.
and then just keep the ones I already have.
The one thing that I don't have now is I don't have anyone. No one can tip me right now because I've removed like the Stream Elements one and the Streamlabs one because I don't like either of them. So,
Yeah.
there's-
I don't like
Yeah.
either of them either, but
I have seen
That's
another one
interesting.
that could be a possible option though that I might use because you can. It's a similar one that you can use to pay mods that people have used in the past. So I might have a look into that one.
how much though?
Don't know.
Huh.
Mm,
I'm going to look into this because one,
Yeah.
I after the whole Stream Elements like CEO debacle thing,
yeah.
I'd like to get this channel off of it, and then also the
Mhm.
personal channel I'd like to get off of it. So maybe
Yeah.
I'll just move it all to Twitch.
You can
We
do.
don't have really an elaborate system here, really. Like
It
so,
shouldn't take you that long.
yeah,
The
it's
reason it
maybe
took me
like
so
a
long-
handful.
It took me like about I think an hour to an hour and a half to set
I'm
everything
gonna look
up.
into that.
The only reason it took me so long is because I have 6 tiers of at this point I've been streaming for almost 8 years. Not the whole time, but I've been on Twitch for 8 years. And I have like 6 tiers of sub badges. And
Oh.
each time that you upgrade your sub badge, it's like a different
Mm.
like a different color or a different
Yeah.
icon as the alert goes off. And so you have to do 2 through 3 months and then what is it? So you do 1 through 2, then the third one is a special. And then 4 and 5 are different. And then 6 is special. And then so on and so forth. So it's a good 20 or 25 different variations. So
Okay.
just a bitch.
Mm.
I
mean, I've
did
got-
this to myself.
I've got some alerts all the way to 72 months now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
'cause
think
that's
I'm in
how long
that.
it's been.
I think I have one of those too. I think I have like all the way up to like 72. When they
It
launched
should-
affiliate, I got it.
It should be
Yeah,
however
same.
long you've been
Yeah.
affiliated. It doesn't matter how long somebody else has subbed to you. It just matters how long you've been on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I'm
your
honestly
sub badge
surprised
will
they
be
never-
the highest.
I'm honestly surprised they never took my affiliate ship away because I didn't stream for like on that channel for like 2 years, and like I'm like, I still have the affiliate. Okay.
Once
They
you have
can't
it,
take
you
the
don't
affiliate
give
away.
you-
They can take partnership away, as I understand it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Because I thought it was one of those things where it's like if you don't get a paycheck from it for a year or whatever, or any kind of pay for it, they cancel it. Oh, okay, cool.
No.
Learn something new every day. All right.
If
Big
that
week.
were the case, then yeah, I would probably wouldn't have my affiliate still either. Because there's
I
a
would
good
think.
year
Yeah.
that maybe only stream like twice or something.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was like, wow, I still have this. Awesome. I just checked to see if the emotes still work, and they do. So good for us.
Yay.
All right, it was a pretty big week, video game wise. So, looking at the sheet here, Dill and I are both playing this. Did anyone else look at Final Fantasy VII Remake yet? Or, I'm sorry, Rebirth.
I've been watching Meg Kaylee stream it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not until I
So-
finish the first one.
Mm.
Okay, cool.
I'm
So,
not even gonna dip toes into it until I finish the first one.
There's
That's
not
fair.
much room for, there's not much like risk of spoiler here because the first chapter alone is incredibly massive. So,
Mhm.
we'll do our best to avoid any major spoilers, but something occasionally might slip. Plus, also like it channels a lot of the stuff from this chapter channels a lot of stuff from the original release, so things may overlap. But so we'll start with Dill. Dill is doing it Dill started before us.
Yep.
So Dill,
Without spoiling anything, what chapter are you on, Dill?
Chapter 4.
okay. I got
Okay.
up to chapter 2.
Okay, so you're on chapter 2. I finished chapter 2 yesterday and then moved on all the way to chapter 4 yesterday.
And then how far did Meg get, Zenith, do you think?
Meg is still like in the first area after
Nibelheim. So she's still in chapter 1.
Right.
well, sorry, not that, but like the area after that.
Okay.
Chapter
cool.
2.
Chapter 2. Okay, so we'll
Yeah.
we'll go through about chapter 1 here. So, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the second release in the remake trilogy of Final Fantasy VII. It's going to be 3 games. We are now on the second game, which is going to be, I'm assuming it's going to be the largest.
It looks like it has been so far.
Yeah. It is an incredibly massive game. This thing tops in at 150 gig download. Like, it's huge.
Yeah. Jesus
It's also
Christ.
spread across two discs. Okay, so Dill, you're the farthest in. Give us some of your insights. What are you thinking? What are you feeling about this thing?
This game basically is a lot bigger compared to the first one, because in the first one, at this point, in like the hours that I've played, I would have been nearly halfway done with the game, like with the first one, the remake. Like I would have been like, it was, like I'm 16 hours into Rebirth right now. At this point, I would have been like maybe a third of the way to like, you know, maybe to go and push and hit halfway through. In this game, no, I'm nowhere near like a quarter of the way done. I don't think of it under the moment. I'm getting too distracted by all the side content in like the chapters that have side content right now. There's so much to do in it, and like every time like I think I've done something, once I've done that thing, another thing will pop up then for me to do, and then I'll have to do that one, and it's kind of like, you know, bouncing around the entirety of the open world until eventually I get everything done. That's basically like my mindset for playing this game. Like I'm just gonna, whatever pops up on the map, I'm just basically bouncing between each one until I do everything. That's kind of like the whole gist, without spoiling anything, because I don't want to say anything that could spoil it for anyone who wants to play it soon and like later on. Yeah. Yeah?
When there, because there is tons of they're doing a lot with this.
Yeah.
There's a lot they're doing with this thing that they did not do in the first release, the Final Fantasy VII remake. There's a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of decision making, which was not in the first one. There's a lot of
the dialogue
options,
which is nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of decision making things you can do here. It's like we recorded a first glimpse over on Thursday for this. That's going to go up today.
Yeah.
Dill, Morgan, and I recorded a first glimpse for this. So there are options to things you can do in certain places. One of them, the first thing, and this is not really a spoiler because this was also in the demo that they released. The first area is the Nibelheim area, which is roughly halfway through in the original Final Fantasy VII.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I haven't played the original, so I don't know like what
roughly
the time
halfway,
is.
if I remember right. So
yeah.
You're in the Nibelheim area, which, if you do not know, Nibelheim is where Cloud grew up. It's where Tifa grew up, and then, you know, their childhood friends. You can go into Tifa's house, and based on the decisions you make in Tifa's house, it will change the dialogue in how Tifa reacts.
Yeah.
So, one of the options, because it's a mild spoiler, but basically it is a flashback sequence and Cloud is telling a story, and one of the options is you go into the home and you can either choose to go into Tifa's room or you cannot. If you choose to go into Tifa's room, you will get a reaction from both Aerith and Tifa while you're telling the story that they're not pleased with the fact that you entered her room.
No.
Dean, who went in the room? Did Meg go in the room?
Yes.
Yes, of course she did.
She basically was right up in Tifa's knickers.
Of course,
Yeah.
I knew she would. Why wouldn't you? It's an option.
So, it's pretty interesting in that regard. Now, they've said this in the reviews and all that kind of stuff, that based on the decisions you make and stuff, you can actually romance Tifa or Aerith, I'm guessing, as well.
I think Tifa,
romance a dog.
Romance Aerith, and I think Barrett's also a bromance option as well.
Yeah, romance Red.
Why not?
Oh my god.
She
It's
can
not
fuck the
Baldur's
dog,
Gate.
literally.
Oh,
This is not Baldur's Gate. Like,
don't worry. After the success of Baldur's Gate 3, everything will be Baldur's Gate 3 now. Trust me.
Baldur's
it's only a matter of
Red.
time.
do you say Baldur's Red?
Yes.
Baldur's Red.
So yeah, there's like, depending on the options that you pick within the certain sequences, it affects how the characters react towards you, which I'm ultimately going to guess is affects your ability to romanticize them, etc.
I can't. I want to badly do like an asshole run.
Oh, you can. Although there is arsehole options. Yeah, that you can choose dialogue, certain dialogue that does that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the dialogue stuff is interesting. It's actually really interesting that they've expanded on this idea of what you can do with the characters in terms of relationship, because that, I'm going to imagine, has a great effect on how the story plays out versus the original.
Just to give an example of it, I've actually got an entire like roadmap for how to romance Tifa. Like, and it's more complicated than I thought when I looked into it.
Why do I feel like you went and searched this out?
Because I want to.
Because it falls under the Dill's type.
Dill's requirements for a potential mate.
Dill's requirements.
Okay.
Dill's requirements for like potential partner. 1, can they kick my ass?
First requirement:
yes.
can they step on me? 2, can they kick my ass? 3, can they make me feel like I'm the true bottom in the podcast?
Do they have dark hair?
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can probably be like I don't care about the bottom part. I just care about like taking turns.
Okay, I have a question.
Please, Everis, save us.
Is it more common to like Tifa than it is to like Aerith?
I think it's both equally. I think it's
or is
equal,
is it like a Triss versus Yennefer thing where it's like 50-50 down the middle?
Yeah, I think it's 50-50, honestly.
So
I'd say,
the way I
like,
see it, the way I see it is it's hard to say. Tifa seems to appeal more to the like anime waifu, like, community of, lovers. Maybe
I feel like
where Aerith
more.
This is just my
that.
perception. This is just my perception here. But Aerith is more like the girl
Not
next
Everis.
door. Aerith is more like the girl next door type.
No,
of
I
thing.
saw them more as having a deep, like, from the little knowledge that I know of their relationship. I see it. They have a little bit more of a deeper connection, but I don't know.
I don't know. Tifa
More
to me is
emotional?
the Street Fighter girl, honestly, whereas Aerith is the Disney princess. That's what
Isn't
I feel
she
like
more
to me.
emotional?
Aerith is definitely more emotional.
Definitely.
Aerith is also
That's kind of what I mean. She's more of the emotional connection,
Aerith's
right?
like more like an empath because she feels like she knows, she can feel how what people are feeling, and like there are even like dialogues that she does with Cloud and where he talks about his relationships with like the other people and everything like that. So she's like an empath in a way. Like
So,
that's what I know. It's
we have to be very careful how we kind of explain this because Aerith does share, I don't want to say powers or abilities or whatever, but Aerith has characteristics that Cloud and Sephiroth do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like this. How do I word this? I hate to bring it up because it's so fresh in my head. It's like the Baldur's Gate thing where they know when each other have the parasite thing in their eye.
It's like a sensory thing.
Yeah, it's a sensory thing, which this comes into the story. Like, this is a major plot point, so I'm not going to delve on it too much. But they share those three characters share similar characteristics, and it has their.
I have that. Okay, I think
Yeah,
I think I'm getting it. Yeah.
So Dill probably will understand where I'm going with it as he plays further. They share similar. They share a characteristic between the three of them.
Dill, did you play the OG 7?
No, that's why I'm like.
This is all new for you then.
This is all new for me. The remake's my introduction to it, and then I did a DLC recently for the first time because this recent playthrough was my second playthrough, and then the DLC was my first playthrough of that.
Yeah, Dragonfly in the chat here says it's like Team Betty or Veronica. Like,
oh my gosh, yes.
I've never read the Archie comics. Or
I used to read them all the time when I was
Archie's
a kid.
badass.
I had like at least like 40 of the comic books as a kid. So what I want to ask,
okay, go for it.
Eric. So you played the original, right?
I've got through 3/4 of the original one, so I played a massive chunk to it. I got to disc 3.
Okay.
Everis, did you play the original?
Nope.
Okay, so
I probably played. I don't know when. I had an old coworker tell me that he thought I would like, because I told him I'd never played a Final Fantasy game, and he's like, "Oh, you would really like 7," without really telling me why. I was like, "Okay, whatever."
Okay.
And I might have played like 30 minutes. I think I got out of the what is it? The factory
reactor.
plant
The reactor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that was it.
You did the first 30 minutes. Yeah, where he jumps off the train or jumps off the bridge onto the train. Yeah.
Yep.
So for anyone that has played the original, and especially played the original even before Final Fantasy remake was ever announced, would you say that as far as like remakes of like any kind of video game, especially like a title as beloved as Final Fantasy VII, because if you think about it, what are some of the most beloved titles that span across the genres? You have Mario 64, you have Ocarina of Time for Zelda, you've got Sonic the Hedgehog, there's
Final Fantasy,
Pokemon,
like stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So these are titles that probably, if you're thinking of remake, you'd be like, there's no way, because like this is a beloved game. If you're going to remake something like this, you literally have to shoot for the stars. And would you say that Square Enix is currently doing that and somehow pulling it off with Rebirth?
Yeah.
I know there was some. So. I know there's some big changes that people were arguing.
I don't know about Rebirth. I can't answer the Rebirth question because we're so early into it. Because I feel like Rebirth hasn't blown my mind yet. It's not quite the Tears of the Kingdom situation where I was like, oh, I've done all this already. I'm not quite there. But like, I have to play more to see where Rebirth goes. But if I go back to the Final Fantasy VII remake when that came out, that is one of the most, I think, how do I put this? I think it's one of the most masterpiece ways to do a remake. And I think I can, deep down in my heart, I would think that remake is the game they really, really wanted to make. They just had the technological limitations to do it back in 97 because it carries the same feel. It's almost like when you watched a video game, right? Like played a video game and then it turns into a movie and the movie does all this stuff perfect. You know, like we bring up the escaping the reactor, Cloud jumps off the bridge onto the train. Just the opening sequence of remake when Cloud hops out of the train. Just when you're watching it in a pixelated form on your PlayStation, you're like, whoa, this is badass. Even though it looks like shit by today's standards. But you're like, whoa, this is badass sitting on a couch in 97 watching this. To watch him jump out of the train in remake and basically do his introductory sequence in the game in remake is fantastic. It's those things you like dream of.
It's your imagination coming to life.
It's your imagination coming to like, this is how it really would be if this really was a movie. And truth be told, I don't think Final Fantasy VII is the best game. I think 6 is. But I think Final Fantasy VII has the most memorable and recognizable characters in the whole series. and that's why they treat it so beloved and they treat it with such care. I am nervous for. Go ahead.
I think that's why I'm having a hard time going back to old games after having lived. I would say this is my gaming prime.
Okay.
Because this is the time in my life where I've played the most video games. Having lived through seeing, graphics being what they are now, and then going and being like, oh, well, I want to play this classic game. You look at it and it's like, oh wow, okay. You almost like have to like, now your imagination plays a greater part in your gameplay experience, which can be kind of hard to adjust to. Because people are like, oh, have you played this and this Final Fantasy games? Like, no, I didn't. I didn't grow up on that. And I've avoided it because it's like, this is so I don't want to say boring to look at, but boring to look at, right? There, and I've grown and enjoy the most playing action RPGs. Where like, you push a key, you slice a sword. It's like that kind of feel.
Yeah, why return to playing Zelda: Link to the Past when you can play Pikmin 4, right?
Oh my god.
We gave it a break.
The Pikmin sweep is back, baby.
I need the Pac-Man. Bloop, bloop.
Morgan, can I get a clip? So yeah, to answer the question, I think probably if you go to like remakes, the only thing that comes close in terms of remakes, in terms of like setting the standard, would be probably RE4.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
But I think this is a huge step above RE4 in terms of what they've done.
In terms of remaking,
yeah.
They basically took what they did in the remake and expanded upon it, and then like the detailing and how they've expanded on like every individual thing from the remake, they've just taken them and expanded upon like that in Rebirth, basically, like done stuff that they've probably wanted to do in the remake but couldn't for time consumption, and they've done that in Rebirth, in my personal opinion.
This is the kind of remake that I can appreciate being a game of the year. Because to me it is game changing.
It's the whole technological leap of
it's next level.
Yeah. And it will probably be a contender for sure for Game of the Year this year.
I see that. Now,
go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually go back to remake. Okay, I want you guys to tell me if this is important or not. For those who have played the original versus the remake, because somebody. No, hold on. I'm gonna come to my point in a second. Somebody came into my chat and said that this annoyed them, and this is what annoyed them. Sephiroth was introduced too soon. That was not the case in the original, as I understand it. Do you think this is a problem?
No.
No.
Someone said it was a problem.
Why?
And I don't know exactly why. I didn't
what
play
they probably
it. I wouldn't know.
Is that person was probably expecting a 1-to-1 retelling of Final Fantasy VII.
I see that.
And sure, like that could work in a sense, but it's clear that Square Enix has other plans for the Final Fantasy VII franchise, where they want to expand on that and actually continue to deliver fresh surprises and experiences for someone that has played the originals and know those games like the back of their hand. Like that's why, like as you mentioned, Nibelheim is actually introduced at the very beginning of Rebirth, as opposed to halfway through Final Fantasy VII. Right. So they're definitely changing things up, and it's very interesting to see where things go.
Do you think that's going to impact the end, or do you think the end is going to be the end as it is?
It is going to impact. Okay, I got to be very, very tippy-toey.
Sorry, I'm just like I'm trying to fight the theories.
You can be super vague.
No, but
Yeah.
I have theories. Like I'm trying
Okay,
to fight
so-
it.
because I've like me and Zenith here are the ones that have played the original one at least enough to know what happens. That's gonna really, lack of a better word, fuck you up.
You don't have to go too far if you don't think we should.
The stuff they're doing. So it's interesting because I think what they've done. So to go to your question, Everis, the Sephiroth thing, while I do think it has an effect on the story,
suspense, and
A bit.
like not knowing. That's the only reason I
bit.
would think it would impact it.
Mhm.
a bit, because they do in the original game they do play off Sephiroth as the be all end all, badass in this thing. The way they're doing it in Remake and Rebirth, that doesn't seem to be the case. Or I could be wrong and they're just making it it's almost like comparable to like the Thanos, Infinity War thing. Like, Thanos
Yeah.
is coming and he's, they're showing him and they're putting him out there and then, he's someone to be reckoned with. That might be the route they're going with this. I do think it has an effect on the story and the impacts it will make. But what I'm noticing here is what they've done with the Remake and the Rebirth, especially more in the Rebirth, just from what I've played so far. They are taking what the fans loved about. They're taking the stuff fans were very vocal about and stuff when the original came out, and they are now incorporating into the thing. Like Tifa is a fan favorite, always has been, and now you can romance Tifa. Do you want to change the scenarios of what happened with certain characters in this game? Well, now they're giving you the options to either romance them or isolate yourself for something, or isolate yourself from them, etc., which will have a huge impact on how the story plays out from what it originally did.
Yeah.
That's going to be very, very interesting. It's taking like that Mass Effect kind of approach to it, where it's like your decision making is going to affect this stuff. It's incredible to the point where I'm like, I can't wait to see what happens. This Rebirth thing is a whole curveball in terms of what they're doing with Final Fantasy VII. It is definitely not a 1-to-1. It's not even going to come close to a 1-to-1 that people want from it. It's going to be
for the
your
better,
own.
I assume.
For the better.
Yeah, that's also built on the basis of opinion, because there are some people that just want to see the original game just redone in a modern form.
Then buy a model, I don't know.
So yeah, I think it's going to have a huge effect on how the story plays out and what it does. There are things I'm excited to see remake wise, like Costa del Sol, which I think they showed in the trailer. That's that beach resort area. Stunning. Like, it looks like paradise, right? The other thing I'm really excited to see, and people might be familiar with it because it's in Final Fantasy 14, is the Golden Saucer.
Yeah,
the Golden Saucer is introduced in Final Fantasy 7. Can't wait to see what that looks like. Like, the Golden
that's where
Saucer.
apparently the date happens with whoever you're romancing in the game.
Spoiler! No, I'm just kidding.
I'm taking Barrett to the Golden Saucer.
Yeah, in the sailor outfit.
Romance.
So, you look like you had something, Zenith.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Calm is very pretty. That is the first town that you're in.
Calm was very pretty. I agree, and everything else.
Now,
Is this
go ahead.
Is this like a stream friendly game in the sense that like would you stream it, or do you think it's best enjoyed in personal time?
It's up to
Personal.
you. It's
Do not stream this. If you've never played the original one. If you've never played the original one, do not stream this.
Well, yeah, you're running risk of spoilers. That's true. But assuming that you have a respectful community, I agree. I agree that it's probably more of a personal.
I will say that I do respect the community, and I am streaming this, and I haven't been spoiled much, except for one thing that has been spoiled by a friend of mine who didn't know that I didn't know a certain event that happens in the OG. And I will not say it, but it is a massive spoiler.
Oh, were you mad?
Why did people do this?
I was not mad. I was just
It's
disappointed.
an assumption thing.
And so was the other friend as well, because like even he was like, dude, That's a massive spoiler.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's almost a 30-year-old game. Like the original one's almost 30 years old, so I can
Yeah.
see where like someone like Dill never
Yeah.
touched it.
Darth
kinda
Vader's
like
Luke
Snape
Skywalker's
killed
dad.
Dumbledore.
Oh no!
Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
kind of like Snape killed Dumbledore.
I mean,
Wait,
We
what?
should know at this point. Stop. Stop.
Are you playing
Stop it,
around?
No.
Stop.
Don't,
Please. Are
Eric.
you?
Don't play
I'm
it.
only
Stop,
on
Eric.
book. I just finished book 4.
Are you? You never watched the movies?
I've been watching the movies after I read the book. Did you just ruin it for me?
Are you
Oh,
kidding
shit.
me?
No. Oh, you spoiled live on the podcast.
Oh my god! It's a meme. That's a meme, Eric.
And he obviously
It's a
hasn't seen it.
meme.
Babes, I have to fire Everis.
I
Everis. She just spoiled Harry Potter.
How
I'm
have
not
you
going to say because
not?
I'm hoping it's not true.
How have you
Well,
not?
you
Okay,
have to
Eric.
find out.
Eric. It's about the journey, not the destination. It's about the journey, not the destination. It's about the journey, not the destination.
Fired.
Okay. I'm going to ask
I'm
the
red
chat right
now.
now.
I'm red. It's a
Do
meme,
we spoil?
Eric.
Do we spoil Final Fantasy VII for Everest? Do we just get her back?
It's a meme. It's a meme, Eric. It's a meme.
If you did, you'd be spoiling a bunch of people that's currently in chat.
No,
as
I would
well.
never do
True.
that. That's fucked. I would never. Do
All
that.
you have to do is just don't stoop down to Everest's level.
Okay,
Yeah,
be
be
honest with me.
better.
Did that is the thing real? Like, did I get spoiled?
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Are we looking at
Yeah.
70%? Yes, 40% no. Are we right in the middle?
I'm just gonna do this. Maybe.
Now,
All
Eric's
I'm
gonna.
just going to
Eric's
say
gonna.
is,
Eric is gonna read
fuck
the
Harry
shit
Potter.
Okay,
out
I'm gonna
of
be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. That dude's
Gonna
old
read the
enough as
shit.
fuck. That dude's old enough as fuck anyway in this whole series where I figured that was gonna happen anyway. Because we're gonna get off Final Fantasy VII here in a second, but I've been reading these books. I've never touched them. I've never watched movies. I've never done any of that. I'm reading them and watching the movies afterwards as I seen them, and I can tell you right here, right now, that shit is literally just Star Wars with wizards.
Very much, yeah.
Dumbledore is Yoda.
Why do you think it's Star Wars?
Just think about it.
You have a kid who has no idea what he is, and then he finds out he's this badass wizard that goes to a school to learn how to be a badass wizard. You got a dude that runs the school of wizards that's basically Yoda. And then, so here's the thing.
Read it more.
I do not think
The more you know
Voldemort-
about it, the less of a connection that there is.
No, I do not think
No.
Voldemort is like Vader. I think Voldemort is more like the Emperor. In
Mhm.
terms of Star Wars, I think Voldemort's more comparable to the Emperor than he is Darth
Yep.
Vader. I do not think there's a Darth Vader in Harry Potter, but there's definitely an Emperor, and that's Voldemort. Dumbledore's got to be Yoda because he's like the wizard that Voldemort's the only one he was afraid of. So I'm like, this fucker's Yoda. And then I was at the point where I was like, you know what? I would be surprised if Voldemort was Harry's father, but then they tell you he's not. So, or
Yeah.
they made it clear he's not. So she took a lot of
there.
stuff for it. You have the Death Eaters, which are basically the fucking stormtroopers or the Sith. They're more the Sith.
Based on this logic, you can come up with 1,000 different universes and make the same parallels.
Well,
The
there
wand
probably
is literally the lightsaber. Like Harry's got this special wand that was
No,
waiting for
because
him in the
you can
Hogwarts
control
shop.
the Force without a lightsaber.
That's true. That's very, very true. But the weapon of choice is their wands. And
It's a
Harry's
stick.
wand. Harry's wand was okay. I don't
It's
want to
just
waste
a
time on this. We'll
We're
move
getting
forward
too distracted here at
because
this
you'll
point
probably
with
spoil
the-
something else for me. So
It's a meme. It's a meme. It's a meme. At this point, it's a
Memeverse
meme.
is here.
I hope Morgan clipped my disappointment just right now.
Oh, Lord.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't feel bad.
I do. I will die in shame for this.
I do not. Okay. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you.
I thought that was
spoil-
one of those universally known things.
People
I guess
spoil stuff
not.
for me all the time. It's okay. I do not want you to feel. I'm being honest from the genuine bottom of my heart. Do not feel guilty. Do not feel bad. Do not be upset. I'm okay with it. I'm cool.
No,
Inside,
but Dragonfly is
dying.
my mod, and they will not let this down. not let this down. They'll be like, hey, Everis, remember that one time where you ruined Eric's life?
I don't think spoiling Harry Potter would ruin my life. But
Oh man, I for the bottom of my heart, I did not intend that to happen.
okay,
I had
as
no
long as
idea. I had no idea that you had never read the books or watched movies.
I
before.
like I said, I figured Homeboy Dumbledore is old as hell. It was going to happen in this series anyway. I figured that was coming, right? I'm more concerned about what happens to Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Her two different books.
Has Pow didn't read them either?
Pal read a couple of them and watched all the movies.
Oh, so she knew.
Mhm.
Okay.
And before anyone that listens to
I'm
this,
not ruining two people's lives.
and before anyone in here tries to cancel me for touching Harry Potter, there are libraries, people. I have not given this woman a dime. There are libraries.
Good.
So,
But then
anyway.
how you watching the movies?
How you watch the movies? Library.
Okay, good.
Library. You get rent all them bad boys, or you can sail the seven seas.
I believe there's stream too.
Yeah, you can sail the seven seas too.
Exactly.
Not pay to
so
stream. It's like
pirated.
under the. It's under the.
I mean, Netflix constantly increase their prices, so you may as well go pirate.
Anyway,
at this point.
back to important matters. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Fantastic game. Technical issues aside, play the game in performance mode.
Yes,
I know
for sure.
some people want it to look pretty, like 4K, 30 frame. It glitches a lot in the graphics mode. Like it glitches. It stutters, etc., etc. It's a little too much for the thing. Play it in performance mode. You will have an amazing time. We did the first glimpse. I was like, this is stuttering. And then Dill said, switch to performance mode. Much better experience. So,
yeah.
Again, anyone else have anything on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth before we...
I can't wait to
move
play more.
I can't wait until robbing banks becomes legal because I can't afford PlayStation.
Someone send this man a PS5 right now.
I would endorse that, but at the same time, it's like, PS5 or RAM?
I mean, to be fair, then, if you see on the advertisements, they actually say the exclusive contract for it on PS5 ends in May. And there's a theory going around that it could release on PC later this year.
Or it's going to be on Xbox, which are going to be dirt cheap after their fiasco.
Xbox.
Did
The
they
only thing-
release?
Yeah, I can't even afford any PC upgrades at this moment either. So
Did they release Final Fantasy 16 on the PC?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure when the exclusive contract ends with that one. Honestly, I think it's like a year contract with that one, if I remember correctly.
For PlayStation
5, yeah.
exclusive, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know someone's going to ask it before we move forward. I know someone's going to ask it. Do I need to play Remake before Rebirth? You should play Remake before Rebirth.
You should play Remake. So there's an IGN article that I saw that said you don't have to. No, replay the remake. Play the remake even my old play because it won't make much
There's
sense.
people who think that you can play the second one without playing the first.
Well, they're
people
kind
are
of
very dumb and don't know anything about video games.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, IGN, not sorry.
To be fairly fair here, they do have a story so far segment that you can click on and it'll play a 30
Yeah,
what is it?
But is it as good as experiencing it yourself and the 30 hours it takes to beat it?
They did take the
Is it only 30 hours?
It's only 35 hours.
Yeah,
for the
something
main story.
like that.
That seems
But-
short.
I did all the extra stuff as well.
I mean, it is a third of a story. Well, how many different games do you think they're gonna? Is
doing
this like
3 of
a
this.
trilogy?
3. It's a trilogy, yeah.
Okay.
So like a third, it makes sense.
The first game, the first Final Fantasy Remake covers up until when you leave Midgar. In the original game, that's only about the first maybe hour, maybe 2 hours of Final Fantasy VII. That's how much they're expanding the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's quite the endeavor they're taking on. They manage to do this in a way where if you do manage to skip the first game, they start the second game off in a way that would seem like you're starting a brand new game that you have no idea what's going on or what's going to happen. They've taken that clever approach to it. Yes, this is on PlayStation 5. It is on PlayStation 5 only, and it is a $70 release.
Yeah.
PlayStation Store, wherever physical retailers you can still get games, it's there. It's a
I
big
don't
one.
have an issue with the $70 release if you can justify the amount of time it takes to play the game. If it's only a 35-hour game, $70 is steep.
I can chime in here.
If it's like an $80, if it's like an 80-hour game, then it's worth it to me because that's essentially $1 an hour.
I can chime in here.
Yeah, Dill, go ahead.
If there's a twin pack, you can get both games for the same price.
Oh,
That's cool.
that's the route.
On PlayStation Store. Yeah.
Oh, I think I saw
if you-
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to get both of them, you can literally get both of them for the same price as the Rebirth game.
Also, from what I've seen, with all like this content and missions and how some of them like seem like really, really deep, you could easily be spending like 100+ hours on this.
It's a big
Mhm.
one.
Yeah.
It's
It's
going
a
to be a
big
long
one.
haul.
So
It
if
might
you're
be
thinking
big- it
this
might
is
be
gonna be
bigger
over
than
in like
Baldur's
30
Gate.
minutes. I mean, you probably could just focus on like the main story stuff, but like if you want to, like obviously like good loot, good gear, and actually like unlock more story stuff, you'd probably want to take your time and do all this side stuff.
I recommend doing the side stuff. There's so much cool stuff you could unlock, and it actually benefits you as well in certain ways too.
Is it good storytelling? Is it like, hey, go fetch me 5 eggs?
Oh no, it's
Because-
story.
Because
This is-
in Final Fantasy 16, the side quests are literally go fetch me this
Well,
herb.
I haven't played 16, so I can't really compare it to that. But like,
I've seen some side missions
Go catch
where
a
they
herb.
actually look pretty fun.
yeah.
Okay.
There's a mini game in
'Cause-
it as well that's pretty
Okay.
fun that you'll
I
definitely
was
like.
definitely disappointed in the side quests. I like the main story quests in 16, but the side quests are just like, why am I freaking doing this right now?
Mm.
I have to say this because it was brought up. Thanks to Gwent,
Yeah.
every one of these games now has to have a fucking card mini game in it.
And this one does too.
And I'm like, why
Did
are
it
we still
start
doing
with
this?
Did it start with Gwent though?
I would imagine so, right?
I think Gwent popularized it. It didn't didn't start with The Witcher 3, but Gwent definitely popularized the theme of having a card mini game based in
Yeah.
a
I
main
don't
game.
care
'Cause in
as
Final
long
Fantasy-
as it's
In
not a
Final Fantasy VIII,
requirement.
there was a card game, and that actually was pretty good, but it wasn't exactly popularized.
I just
I don't know.
I don't care that it exists as long as it's not a requirement.
It's
like-
not a requirement to play it, but at the same time, I started playing it and now I can't stop.
in remake it does force you to go through the game tutorial, like the game tutorial. But after that, I don't think you have to do.
You don't have to after that, no. It's
But
an
they did
option.
it in what's it called, like Gwent. They it's in Witcher. They did it in Horizon, the second Horizon game. There was a mini like board game thing to it. Now it's in this one. And I'm sure tons of other games have done this, you know, like
Even Stardew Valley has mini games in it.
yeah. And I know if you're one of those trophy people, they're gonna make you play like a million of these.
I mean,
game
I'm pretty
matches.
Speaking of
pretty
minigames,
Hmm?
there's a minigame in Final Fantasy VII. Please don't anyone spoil it. But in OG Final Fantasy VII, there's a minigame where you actually had to press buttons to try and give CPR to someone.
Huh?
What?
I kind of
It's
hope
not
that it's
Tifa, Dill.
in...
I'm hoping it's not. I don't want to die. Jesus.
And I kind of
Did they
hope
make
that
you?
it's...
Did they make you sing the song "Staying Alive" to keep the
Ha, 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 ha.
"Staying Alive"? That's how I was taught to perform CPR.
Wow.
That's so weird to me.
Kind of morbid,
It's to
but
keep
all right.
tempo, apparently. To keep tempo and making sure that you're not
Right.
pressing on the heart too fast. Go ahead, Zen. I'm sorry,
No, I'm good. I'm done.
He's done.
but
All right.
that was the game. Just performing CPR.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's a lot of minigames in Final Fantasy VII that don't really seem to fit in, but that was at the time where games were coming out with like a whole bunch of like mini games to try and like entertain people or excite people. And thankfully, like in later titles, they started like cutting down with like how many like nonsensical mini games there are in some of the franchises.
I
But-
feel like for some reason Kojima is to blame for this because he's the master of doing more weird mini games for like no reason.
I
I don't know why.
don't like them. I wish I don't need mini games in my games, but
It's
Yeah.
not a game. It's not a game breaker for me.
no,
but,
it's not.
You know,
But as long as
As
they
long
can
as
skip
it's
them,
like, yeah.
as long as they can skip them. Anyone have anything else on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
I will once I've played more of it.
Nice. We'll.
do you think
we'll
this is
visit it.
longer than 35 hours?
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
so. Yeah.
It's like
Just,
60
Wow.
just
minimum.
base. Yeah. I would say 70. Honestly.
Yeah,
I
we're
would
looking
literally
at
just say
60 to 70.
hours.
So it's about $1 an hour ish sort
Yeah,
of
I'd say so.
playtime ratio.
I mean, I'm 16 hours in. I'm still on chapter 4, which is like I don't
Well,
even know how.
Does
far
it
that
even
is.
say how many chapters are in the whole game?
Yeah.
You can count the hidden trophies, and then you'd probably be able to guess how many there actually is.
We do have a question here. Dragonfly says, "Who's going to stream it?" Dill is currently streaming it right now.
Dill is
Hello.
So feel free to go follow
Yes.
Big Dill Gamer and
No.
catch him on Twitch playing this. Also,
You know, it'd be
before
a
we-
good Discord game.
what Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, it'd be a fun
Hmm.
Discord game. Like,
I
just have your
mean,
closest peeps kind of just
you know-
hanging out in the Discord.
You know what? Also, be a good Discord game to play together for the podcast
Oh, that's
team.
a segue. That's a segue. Give it to me.
Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
Helldivers 2. It's
Well
time
done.
for democracy
Yeah.
to land, baby. Hell yeah.
Tell me about Helldivers 2, because I'm hearing all about this thing and Pal wants to play.
So, you know the old school Halo days where, like, the Halo teams would drop in, basically, and you just, like, with your buddies and everything like that, you just shoot, like, random, like, enemies and, like,
Mm-hmm.
just have fun? That's basically Helldivers 2. That's basically what it is. It takes, like, that fun from Halo, the satire from Starship Trooper movie, blends it
Okay.
into a game, and Bob's your uncle. That's Helldivers 2 right there. And it's so good. I wasn't too sure about actually getting it and playing it. But then I met a guy when I went on my trip to Newcastle who was talking about Helldivers 2 and how much he wanted to play it and everything like that. And I was just like, all right, you know what? I'll get it. I'll see what it's like. I bought it. I played it. I've only put about 4 or 5 hours into the game so far because like I've been busy and everything like that with all the releases and stuff. But like, God, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, especially with friends. Like it's such a fun game to play with friends. And like there's so many fun like clips that I've seen from it as well. You can there is monetization, but they don't shove it in your face monetization. It's like you have to actually actively search for it for like cosmetics and stuff like that. So it's like it's nice. And like they don't force you to buy anything. They don't, like shove something in your face before you go into the game. You go into the game, you go into your ship, and then you start playing the game. And then you have fun, pretty much.
So is
You know.
this like PvE combat? Is it like
Yeah. It's PvE. Fully PvE.
Is it like Left 4 Dead-esque?
Kind of, yes, because like there are two enemies you face in the game, two types. There is the bugs, who I can't remember the name of the actual bugs, but they're basically giant bug creatures that you have to take down and do certain tasks basically in order to like destroying their egg nests and like killing bugs in general, or like collecting data on them and everything like that, whilst trying to survive the endless onslaughts of them because they will constantly come at you over
Do
and
they
over
come
again.
at waves? In like waves?
Yeah.
So, like, is there like a
Kind of,
breather
yeah.
in between, or is it
There's
all
a br-
just?
There is a breather in between. You do get reavers, but then they will eventually spawn, and then when you run into them, they'll literally start attacking you immediately. The bugs are the easier enemy to face. The automatons, the robots, those are the ones you have to fear. My first mission, I tried an automaton mission. Do not try that on your first mission. They are ruthless. They are absolutely ruthless, and I failed at that mission because of how ruthless they are. Like, it's so good though. Oh, talk about it makes me want to play
It's
some more.
from what I understand too, this game is fairly affordable. It's like $40,
Yeah.
$40, $50.
$35, $40, something like that. You know, so it's a very cheap. It's not too bad in pricing. You can definitely get that amount of time out of like that. You know, it's pretty addictive. And yeah, you can get it on Steam and on PlayStation at the moment, and they are currently working on Xbox as well. So pretty soon, Xbox people are going to have this game too. So that's a fun thing to find.
It's
And the
$40 on
devs-
Steam.
Yeah, and the devs are actually pretty communicative with the community as well. They are pretty like hands-on. They take feedback. They give constant updates. They always try and make sure any bugs that are in the game are fixed pretty quickly. I've seen the game being updated 12 times since it's launched on Steam. Like, I know, and it's pretty good, honestly.
Steam and IGN have rated it a 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. That's what you should.
I've seen people role play in Helldivers 2, and it's hilarious.
Oh my
So
god, the roleplay is so good.
I'm gonna imagine there's mods for this thing too. Like,
Oh,
already.
the mods are being worked on. Yes, there are mods that are being worked on for this game. Similar to Lethal Company, when Lethal Company came out, there are mods that are being worked on. Recently, the most recent update that I've seen, they've added mech suits and vehicles to the game now as well, so you can spawn in like mech suits and vehicles, which is fun. But it begs the question: what kind of enemy are we going to face soon, which requires mech suits? Because so far the enemies have been pretty like standard enemies, like, but there's rumors and speculations that there's going to be bigger and badder enemies that are going to come very soon. Honestly, there are like giant bugs and there are like giant big ass robots at the moment, but then there's rumors that there's going to be more coming. You know,
It
more.
looks great. It really
Yes.
does look great.
Yes.
Dill says support freedom and buy Helldivers 2.
Yes. Support freedom, support democracy, so support Super Earth and buy Helldivers 2. I love the advertising for this game. The advertising for this game reminds me of Starship Troopers so much, and that's such a good satire movie. And like,
I'm
Oh, it's
intrigued
so
by
good.
these Starship Troopers like references because that movie's
Yeah.
weird. It's like a campy space sci-fi
remember
shooter.
watching that when I was a kid.
So yeah, for those who don't know Starship Troopers, it's basically a satire on fascism and like the reality of like a one Earth government or anything like that like believes it's the best and everything like that, and like brainwashes people into thinking, oh, these bugs are bad, we must kill them for, you know, democracy and whatnot stuff and for our people, because, you know, and like it's based on a book which wasn't a very satire, but then when they made the movie, they made that very satire and made it plainly very obvious that it is satire, but like there's like a group of people who don't believe it's satire, and then it's like,
Oh,
you can clearly see it's satire. It's you know, it's there. It's all in front of you.
yeah, this is on my wish list. I've been meaning to try this because everyone's
Mm.
talking about it. Pal's been
Hey.
hearing about it, and she's like, "I want to play."
Oh, me and Pao were discussing this because we were just like, it was like she asked me about it. And I'm like, get it, buy it, get Erik in. Democracy doesn't wait for anyone.
Democracy doesn't wait for anybody.
Yeah.
All right, Helldivers 2, that is available on Steam. It's available on PlayStation, and on Steam, I'm looking at a $40 price point here. So feel free to go check that out, Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everis, did you have anything you played over the course of the time?
Not worth
frame?
talking about.
Not worth
Just
talking
getting through. I
How-
don't think
how
that
is
any of us really want to
your,
talk about Tears of the
how's it-
Kingdom anymore.
But how's your playthrough going so far? Is it going well?
Yeah, I thought I was doing pretty good. For those who don't know, I'm trying to get all the light roots and all of the shrines.
Mhm.
That's kind of my goal.
How many shrines so far?
120-ish.
Oh,
100
you're
and
close. You
You're
are close,
yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
yeah, I thought I was closer, and then I went to the map and started counting all of the stars that I have marked on the map because I've unlocked all the light routes. So now you just go to the surface and
Yeah.
excuse me, try and find all the surface shrines, and I was like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then it got into the point where it's like, okay, I guess I'm not almost done. I have so many more.
Yeah.
So
But you know, I'm well beyond like halfway. I'd say I'm like 2/3 of the way through.
I
Cool.
watched Everis play, and she found the Master Sword, and she claims that she wasn't gonna cry, but you could just see the look on Everis's face where her like you get that little winkle.
It was
like
more sheer fucking disappointment that was what happened.
how is that disappointing?
I'm not gonna say anything
Well,
about
yeah,
it.
it's a spoiler. It's a
it'll
major
make-
spoiler.
it'll make
Sorry.
her
I'm not
cry.
gonna say anything about. I can't say anything
It'll
about
make
it.
her
But
cry.
it was
It'll
just
make her cry again.
that has ruined what I expect. It ruined what I wanted the ending to be in my head. So
Okay.
so far,
Well, you got to keep playing until you finish it.
I
and
know,
see if the
I know.
ending
And
does,
a little part of me is like, nah, that can't be it. That can't be it.
You have to keep
But
playing.
it definitely like it rubbed my heartstrings in a way that I didn't want. I was like, oh, we're just gonna get all the dragon's tears, and then boom,
And it's a boom.
So-
Emotions.
just fucking
I found
obliterated with emotion.
so I found the Master Sword before I got the dragon tier for that part of the story. I found the Master Sword first, and then I watched the dragon tier for it. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of blubbered like a baby. So
I don't even know how that would work.
I went through the lore. So like I went through the lore of Zelda, where the Master Sword is typically in the Lost Woods.
Right.
Yeah.
But I went to the Lost Woods and Tears.
That's where I expected it, because my sister, she likes to come into my streams every so often, and she's like, she's a lot further in the story than at the time. She was a lot further in the story than I was, and she's like, "Did you get the Master Sword?" I was like, "No, I haven't gone to the forest yet," because that's mentally that's where I expect it to be.
Yeah, which is what I did. I went by the lore and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the Lost Woods. It's probably in there."
Right.
And then you found the Deku tree, which is spoiler alert. Sorry, you find the Deku tree, and the Deku tree says, "No, it ain't here."
That's in Breath of the Wild. It's just a thing.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, and then it's like, go find the sword. Then I started hunting for the sword. I found the sword, and then I got the sword, and then I went and saw the tier because I was missing the tier. And then I was like, oh, this.
Then it all like made sense to you.
It hit a hell of a lot harder.
I just don't understand how that would work, because it directly went. I don't know how you could have gotten the sword first, because I thought that getting the last tier
No, you
opened
could get
up
the sword.
that
You could get the sword without.
scene.
No, you could get the sword without it. I got it from a
Interesting.
tower. I launched from a tower and got it.
You guys are so lucky that you got to launch from all these towers. You use your wonderful paraglider when I didn't have that.
You say it
That
like
was your own fault.
You
That
say
was
it
your
like-
fault, Zen.
you say it like this was like a bug you experienced. You did this to yourself.
You did. And you
True.
did succeed in finishing it at least.
You are the fucking masochist.
And you call me a masochist sometimes.
You
like,
both
God damn.
are.
Oh,
You
come on,
both
come on.
are.
I'm
You
not
both
as
like
bad.
being tortured.
I launched myself from a certain dungeon, and then it's like, oh my god, nope, okay, we're gonna fall. I'm like, hey, there's a little thing here. So I landed and I got my sword.
Cool.
So, well, Everest, you're in
just
for a
got
ride.
lucky.
You're almost there. You're almost there. You're in for a ride. I know
Oh,
you're doing
and
all
one
the
last
school. Go for it.
And one last little thing. After I acquired the Master Sword, it took me all of like 10-15 seconds to accidentally fall off and splat on the ground after.
Question about the Master Sword. Is it like Breath of the Wild, where it has like a durability, but it'll
It does.
recharge?
It'll
Yeah.
It's
recharge.
the same.
Yeah.
It's the same
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, it has a recharge.
No.
But in Tears of the Kingdom, they've also have given you a resource to charge
Right.
your stuff. So
Right.
you can see where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I've already
keep at
brought
it.
back certain.
Keep at it. You're in for a ride. You're almost done, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh shit!" So enjoy.
It
I know you're
better
busy with
be
school,
the-
so
It better be the. I'm not gonna say anything.
okay.
Ah. Anyway, if you want to watch completionist content for Tears of the Kingdom, shameless plug,
Follow
twitch.tv
Everis.
/
Just
just Everis, because that's all I'm playing.
Morgan will
I
slap
like-
that on the chat.
I like only have time for one game at a time.
No,
Mentally.
I'm doing it.
And so it's like I want to get this done. I want to do it right. I want to do it justice. You know, I want to do it the way, you know, I would have played it on my own. So even though I'm streaming it, I want to do it the way I want to do it. And then I can move on with my life, and I don't have to like have any regrets about like, well, I should have gone back and done
You lost
those last two things.
I'm sorry, Everis. You lost a follower in Zenith because you spoiled Harry Potter for me. Don't go to that channel. You'll get spoilers.
Yeah, unshout out.
Shout
Oh,
out.
I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm just fucking.
I don't want to
care.
be that guy.
To be fair, you are not that guy. So you made the assumption, like most people do, like, oh, it's fucking Harry Potter. He must have seen
Well,
that
we were
shit.
just talking
There we go
about
again.
Dill's friend spoiling like, wow, why would that guy do that? And then I just pulled
because he didn't
the
know.
same fucking tactic.
Well,
Yeah,
like I
basically.
said with Dill, it's at this point it's almost 30 years old. So
Mm.
you know, there's an
Yeah, but
assumption made.
it was just basically an assumption made that it was a mishap, basically. And now I was
Yeah.
just like, I wasn't mad at him. I was just disappointed. That's all. It was
Eric
just
is
one of those
old as
ones.
hell. He had to have seen and read Harry Potter at some point. Go for it. You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
In my defense, however, with that particular thing, it really is about why more than what happens.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
So-
yeah, I can live with that. And like I said, that's why I
Yeah.
don't get upset. Like, I mean, you know,
Mm.
it's not like you told me Darth Vader's Luke's father. I would have been like, what? You know,
Have you
like,
seen those videos of kids
mhm.
like who, you know, parents showing their kids like Star Wars for the first time, and they start out with 4
Mhm.
and then go to 5, and they haven't even watched 1, 2, or 3, and they're just like,
Hmm.
Vader's Luke's father. Ah!
Yeah,
They
like
like freak
wild.
out
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's a
I'm
riot.
not. I'm
This-
honestly not upset about it. So don't.
This is the perfect emote for the situation.
The title of the episode's going to be spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So we'll roll with that. You got the title this time.
Great. That's exactly
Or-
what I want to be remembered as.
It's okay.
The
okay.
one that
It's n-
spoils.
Okay, then I'll give you this option before we go to Zenith. I'll give you this option. We can have spoiler alert, or we drop this on the first glimpse the other day. We did Midgar Chemical Romance.
Ooh.
What?
I kind of like that one, honestly.
Because we were joking about, this is all in the first glimpse, we were joking about how moody Final Fantasy VII is, and it's
Oh.
kind of emo and
Yeah.
everything. So I was like, oh, it's Midgar Chemical Romance. So
And
Is
the
that
thumbnail-
is that the? That's actually kind of cute.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
thumbnail could be like emo Sephiroth. Or
oh,
something.
I've already got the idea. Don't worry, I've got that thumbnail
Yeah,
idea. I'm
yeah.
on it. I'm on it.
I
Okay.
like spoiler
That's
alert.
that's the city, or that's the world's name, right?
That's the first city. That's the first level.
Yeah,
Midgar.
Midgar.
Oh,
If you-
okay,
If
okay.
you go with the spoiler alert, you need to have like Everis like hiding her her face in like shame, and Erik just be like,
Your
Yeah.
face really was that, and I like my heart died. My heart died.
Can I
I'm
use
sure
GIFs
Morgan-
as a thumbnail?
I'm sure
"This man's
Morgan-
day."
I'm sure Morgan has the clip, and we can go back and look at it. But Erik, your face was pure shock. I have never seen that like genuine amount of shock.
To where you're like, holy shit, I spoiled this.
I
It's-
fucked up, God.
You were. It was almost like you telling Erik that he's adopted.
What?
I'm gonna use the what's it called for the clip. I'm gonna do that whole pause where it's like, and this is the moment where she realized she fucked up.
Because then I said nothing. I said nothing, and I was like,
That's awesome. Don't worry about it. We're good. Zenith, you have a couple things. What would you like to share with us?
So I finally beat Hades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday, actually, I realized that the gun was the way to go.
The
And
American
then
way.
I thought, all right, let's try some of the other weapons. I think I'm good now. I think I'm good at this game. I was not good at this game.
Mm.
Sad.
Aw.
But
I mean,
I
I
had
feel
fun.
like
Beauty.
it's like an out of practice thing. You know,
Well,
top down isn't the easiest.
Well, it's also like I'm actually used to top down because I used to play like a lot of Diablo back in the day. But I also had some like really bad RNG, and not to mention like my thumbs kind of hurt from from playing the controller a lot.
I was just saying, did you
Yeah.
play controller?
No, I was playing the controller.
Is that a like
Yeah.
a no keyboard game? Like
Yeah.
when I tell
Hades?
people I play, when I tell people I play mouse and keyboard, they're like, "Why would you ever play Witcher mouse and keyboard?" And I was like, "Cause I do what I want, bitch."
yeah.
Just like
This
that.
one, yeah, this
No,
this is
not like
one where
that.
it's highly recommended to play the controller over mouse and keyboard.
Controller says easier.
Yep.
It just
Way easier.
I did it
It
on
probably-
the Switch, and it was with the Joy-Cons, so
Okay.
I
Same
mean,
thing.
which is the
thing.
controller.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's still
But-
good. It's still great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
it was
It was
a lot
Hades
of
2
fun.
is coming out this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm excited.
But definitely for Hades though, like it's definitely like now that I've played, streamed it like 4 or 5 times on stream. If I do play, I think I'll just play as like a comfort game for when I'm off stream.
I understand it's got a fair amount of replayability.
It
Well,
does,
it's
yeah.
got tons of replayability. I mean, there's like my brother's been playing it for like several hundred hours, and he's still like discovering like dialogue options he didn't even know were a thing.
That's cool.
Has he got to like the epilogue, like the ending for it as
Yeah.
well? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And he's still discovering new stuff even afterwards.
Cool.
Like he's playing it on hard difficulty, and he's like, wait a minute, I had no idea this happened, because there's like so many different scenarios, like depending on like what buffs or boons that you get, or like which NPCs have relationships and blah blah blah.
That's really cool.
And it's there's a lot of love that went into this game.
Yeah, it's
Good.
It's on my backlog for
it's
sure.
just really
Yeah.
well done. It's simplistic in design. It's just all this interweaving stuff and how they do it. It's a great game. I don't even really
It
know
is.
how to. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
I played it
simplistic design.
about 2 years ago, I think, when I played it, and I really enjoyed it. My only thing I need to do is I need to go back to it because I want to try and get the true ending to the game, because there is an ending and then there is an epilogue basically, and that's what I need to
Oh.
get. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Hades. What's Hades going for right now? Like $15?
Probably it also goes on
It's like
sale quite
20
often.
or
15 bucks.
something.
Yeah.
Did you like
Yeah.
it, Zen?
I loved it.
Like, what's your number out of 10 score rating?
It is a
And you
9.2
can go
out of
like
10.
9.8.
9.2.
Okay, it's a
9.2.
9.2.
I
The
like it.
9.2. Not bad. Yeah, it's definitely $24.99 I'm seeing on Steam.
Yeah. I'd wait
might
for
be
a
And it
sale
goes
around
on
the other
sale a
storefronts.
lot because
It does,
um,
yeah. And especially now that they're trying to get people to play the first one before the second one.
Yeah, which is why I want
Yeah.
to try and get the epilogue before the second one comes out.
When's the next Steam sale? It's winter, and then is it spring?
They
it
have
might
like
be this
mini
month.
sales, but I think the
Yeah.
major sale is like summer sale at this point.
It's probably
Is there
summer,
a spring
right?
sale? Isn't there a spring sale?
That's what I was thinking.
Yep, spring sale is the 14th of March.
But it's like more minor. There's not quite as much.
Right. It's not the big
No,
one like
this
summer.
is a major Steam sale. Like spring
Oh, okay.
sale is the next major one.
So it's spring. They do one every season then. So it's basically
Yeah.
winter, spring, summer, fall. They do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
winter, spring, Halloween. Winter, spring,
Yeah.
Halloween, summer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Hades, everyone. $24.99 currently on Steam. I'm sure another storefront might have it cheaper, depending on your console of choice there. But yeah, great game. Go play it before the second one. And then looks like you did some Doom Eternal.
Oh, it's Doom.
Yep. I am. That was one thing that was redeemed on my wheel. I've been very, very excited for this because Doom Eternal is Now this is coming from someone that does not like first-person shooter games. I used to play Quake. I played a bit of Doom. I played like Half-Life, and so. But even then, like I'm more of like a Zelda guy. I'm like I like my adventure games. I love my RPGs. I love my Mario. But there's just something about Doom Eternal that just gets me up out and just allows me to just want to sink my teeth into like just a game that is just pure freaking heavy metal. It's a lot of fun. It's very action oriented. And I was when I streamed this last week. This week, I was playing on the PS4. And I will say that the game is not a lot of fun to play on the controller because I'm using the right analog stick to aim is a nightmare.
Yes.
Does anyone play any FPS games with a controller?
Specifically, no, because I know how much I hate it. I'm mouse and keyboard all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I used to play Call of Duty on the PS3 and PlayStation 4, and that was like okay. And then I got PC, and I was just like, "Oh, that's just a lot better, actually."
It's interesting
Yes.
because they've actually designed these games now more to be played with the controller over mouse and keyboard. Call of Duty and all that. So they're designed with the controller in mind. Maybe the exception, someone just dropped in the chat here. The exception may be being Overwatch.
yeah, but that's why I think for like a while, Overwatch was like if you are playing Overwatch on console, they would pair you up with other people that are playing on a controller because people that are playing with mouse and keyboard have a clear advantage.
Yeah.
I think it's also they made it easier to aim on the controller as well. Like the hitbox is a little bit larger
because of aim assist.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly truly aiming, and Doom Eternal doesn't really give you the luxury of aim assist. So I was struggling bad. But a certain person that spells segue as segua got me the PC version. So
nice.
And then I got to play off stream to try and like catch up to where I was, and I was having a merry old time being able to literally like no scope demons from a distance.
Nice.
And it was great.
Yeah.
I just hope that my computer doesn't melt I just hope that my computer does not melt when I try and stream it.
I don't think it's It's not
it
that
won't melt your
heavy duty, is it?
PC, but like don't like go too crazy with the graphics on it. That's all I can recommend.
I scaled it down to medium.
Yeah, that's fine then. Like, don't go on ultra on them because like even my PC with ultra on it, after about an hour, it would it would immediately my PC would be crying at me like, "Stop, please! I want to die."
Did it sound like R2D2, like when it gets blasted in Star Wars?
Yeah,
screaming.
My fans were just like screaming at me like, "Dude, we get it. It looks glorious. Stop."
You need more fans. Just put more fans.
I have like 5 in this thing.
Oh, sir, this one's got 4, 5, 7, 9.
Actually,
I have 6.
7. I have 6.
There you go.
I have 7.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo could install more, but like, I need to buy more fans.
Just take the whole side off and just mount a big ass fan.
Or should I do what Ludwig did with that PC that I showed you, Erik, a while ago?
Don't do that.
And just have it.
Don't just leave the top of your PC open. That allows because there's no airflow when you do that.
Yeah. So for context,
you don't want dust.
Yeah. So for context, what I'm talking about there, I was watching a video of Ludwig's. It was a video or a live stream. And another content creator called CDogVA, Connor, was there with him, and he basically outed Ludwig for like his PC setup because it had no panels on at all. So like it would the air was just going all the way in there. I think the PC was also on a weird angle so that he could get to the USB ports without having to go around the back too. So like they're all like there were wires on top of it.
It
was
mess.
Basically, if Linus Tech Tips saw that, he'd have a heart attack.
Yeah,
basically.
It was a mess. It was a
Yeah,
mess. I
it
think
was
any reasonable PC person has a heart attack when they see that. It's a mess.
I was just like, I'm not like a PC builder, but even I looked at that, I was just like, are you trying to kill someone with that? Because like, holy crap.
So, Doom Eternal, are we continuing it, Zenith? Are we?
Yep.
Yes,
I'm gonna be back to
more.
it next week and gonna try and hope that my PC doesn't melt because
the podcast is
Dill
temporary.
mentioned well, not that I like I have like a good case for my PC, but the thing is I have limited storage space on my desk, so I have this like wooden desk thing where it's actually made out of wood. My dad made this my computer desk actually. But if I'm going to unplug anything, I'm getting actual like splinters of wood all over my wrists and my forearms trying to do anything.
He
didn't
just
stain-
nailed
you
like
didn't stain
trees
it?
together.
I don't know
But-
why he built it like this. As
Jesus.
someone that is a computer guy, I'm just like,
You didn't
what are you
stain
doing?
it?
Are you a fucking idiot?
I mean,
It
Zen,
is-
splinters are
it is-
temporary, but Doom is always eternal.
Yeah, I see what he did there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My PC is gonna be in Doom Eternal. I'm gonna have
But,
no way to make money like come next week.
Yeah.
Oh God, Zen.
All right.
You know, like you can buy like a little tiny thing of stain for like $5. Just paint it up. I know it's a lot easier than it's a lot harder than it sounds, but oh my God.
Get an industrial
PC,
sander.
if your PC melts, Zenith, it would not leave you hanging. Would
Yeah.
I have tons of stuff in a storage unit. Is it the creme de la creme? No. But it's a good mid-90s Honda that'll, chug along and run,
You
I
know,
appreciate
Zen,
that. I will accept your creme.
would a oh shit, what was my last graphics card? It's probably an upgrade for you. Maybe I'll
Yes,
just
literally.
maybe I'll give you mine.
I have a
Are you sure?
2060 sitting in a store in a container.
That's better than mine. The problem
on.
is you can't upgrade too much because then
It's kind of a bottleneck, but
his other pieces won't be compatible.
that's okay. We just
That's
throw
the
another
pro-
mouse.
that's
We
the-
just throw another mouse on the wheel, and we're good to go.
I will tell you what my graphics card is. You guys will be like, no.
I
It's a
have a
1080.
1080.
It's a
I have a
1080.
1080 Ti.
1060. I'm going to say 1060.
I have a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050 Ti.
Oh,
1050. Damn. For
And it's got
context, chat,
4
I had a
gigabyte-
1060 before I had a 3080. So that's probably weaker than mine.
Zen
I
is
have
running
a-
Doom Eternal on a PS3. How he's
much.
doing it, we don't know.
I believe I have a 1080 Ti. Would that be compatible with your
Yeah, 1080 Ti
what you
works.
have?
Should be.
Yeah, because like I have like a decent chip
I don't remember
and
if it's a
and a good
1080 or
motherboard.
1080
It's
Ti.
just
but
my
either
graphics
way.
card is literally something that crawled out of someone's asshole.
I
We'll
have a
talk.
yeah.
We'll talk.
If that doesn't work, I have a 2060 sitting in a container that I have just for emergency purposes.
Oh my gosh, is it like sealed up like one of those like brain jars?
No,
Like Darth Vader's helmet coming out of his containment.
Like a little science experiment.
we'll help you, Zen. We're gonna help you. Okay, we can't have this. We're gonna help you. I don't like this. All right, you are a friend. You are family. We're not gonna let this happen. We'll get you something. Either Everis
I
or myself will
appreciate
take
it.
care of you.
Ouch.
See, Everis is talking to Joshua right now. They're gonna throw down
Josh
the credit
is
card
just
for
like,
you.
He's got a 1050 Ti. All right, I've got a spare 3080 right
Yeah.
here. There
Well,
you go.
he was reminding. He thought I was talking about my current graphics card. He's like, "You have a 3080 Ti," and I was like, "I know. I'm talking about my last.
Ooh.
I'm talking about my last one. I know,
Yeah.
fancy dancy.
I couldn't afford the 2
Yeah.
extra letters.
Neither could I.
was like, ooh.
I'm definitely not using it to its full potential.
I know. We'll talk about
Oh,
that when
madam.
we get. Did you want to share some of the RPG things, Zenith, or are we?
Yeah, I'll keep this very brief. So, I spent like an entire month working on this.
Okay.
And do you guys? So, back in the 90s, there were like some really old RPG games, and this was like during a time where you didn't have game facts, you didn't have instruction manuals, you didn't have the internet. You didn't have anything. The only thing you had was a pen, a paper, and a hope and a prayer. So I challenged...
And imagination.
Yeah, imagination. Yeah. So Everis is one of my clerics on my team.
Yeah, except I died.
We brought you back. But hey, I also died as well.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh no, the good team is really failing here. Okay, anyway, proceed.
The good team is no good. But anyways, so we are playing a very old RPG game that I've surprisingly played so much when I was a kid, and I know this game like the back of my hand. And this is a game that's got like riddles, deadly traps, and even permadeath. So I had my chat try and play through it. I was expecting that everyone would be super bored and would hate this, but after about almost like a 9-hour stream on, what was it, Wednesday or something like that, so people that did not think that they would be into this were really invested.
It was a really good time zone, because I think it was because it's like a collective effort. Everyone's working together,
Right.
and I think that brings a new dynamic. Because it is text based, but it's, I don't know, having it be you and somebody else, and 4 other people or whatever, it brings a new level of interest.
Yeah,
because it's not just you, it's you and your buddy over here.
Yeah, because we have obviously I'm a character, but we have 19 other people in chat that are current characters, and they're trying to do their best to try and fit the mold of their character while trying to lead help lead their party through not only combat, but around a very vast maze where it's very easy to get lost. But thankfully Morgan actually went ahead after stream the next day and actually drawing out a map for you guys, so that way people can actually look through the map, and hopefully you guys will have a better idea of where to go for next time we do this. So it was a very interactive experience. People could use channel points to get hints from me. There was other different ways to supporting the stream was another way for me to either try and railroad people, or be okay, hey, don't do this, or hey, maybe you should be heading over here. And then I have quest rewards where people go and to part of the dungeon and find this item. Then I'll reward people with things like rupees, which my channel currency, or even things that allowed people to get closer towards redeeming fun games for me to actually play on stream. So
it's so cool, and I think it's not something everyone can do, because you have a very unique community that's so involved, not only just with you, but with everybody else. And I think that it's what makes it so special, because I don't think everyone can pull that off.
They're also a bunch of hooligans. I think that's what makes it special.
That too.
They like shenanigans.
She was dancing around the bush. They hooligans.
Yeah, I think it just, your community is something special, and I think that it wouldn't be the same had, with different people.
yeah, thank you. I was baffled that I was able to pull that off, because I was fully planned on all right, it's been 4 hours, nobody cares, let's play some Hades.
Nah, man.
But that didn't happen.
It's funny when people stream and put their viewers' names into their game, there's Cult of the Lamb, or what are some other, I don't know, even Marbles on Stream, where when their name's on the screen, there's some personal identity there and involvement, and I don't know, just that alone, I don't know. You'd be surprised.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was really super duper cool
Thank
thing.
you.
It took a lot of freaking work.
Yeah, you can check out some of this action over on Legend of Zenith's channel. Morgan will take care of you guys in the chat there.
Yeah. I'll be doing this again in another couple of weeks.
Nice. On that note, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break. We'll be back shortly. This is Good Friends, Good Games, and we'll see you in a minute. All right, it's Good Friends, Good Games, and we're back. So we had a heartfelt moment with each other here. Zenith is very appreciative that we are helping him. get him goodies. But Pal, before I forget, Pal had a question for you, Zenith. She wants to know now if you've been on the TikTok train or the Instagram Reel train or whatever, you've seen this show. I'm gonna probably butcher how you pronounce this, but I believe it's Nanalan or Nanalan or whatever. It's this little green puppet that wears a purple dress, and then there's like this puppet that's like the grandmother or the aunt, and it's Canadian.
Okay.
Pal wants to know if you have ever watched this.
Probably not based on his expression.
No, because does not sound familiar.
If I give you a photo here, maybe I can help you. Maybe I'm
Okay.
butchering the name of this, but apparently it is a Canadian staple.
For how
and
long, though?
I do not know, but it is booming through the roof. It is beyond popular. They're riding the wave. The creators of this thing. There is something in the live chat there for you, Zenith. If you can tell me.
Oh my god,
never
that
seen
is
this
a
in my
stuff
entire
of
life.
nightmares.
Jesus Christ Almighty!
What in the world?
It's adorable and wholesome.
No, it's not. That thing's staring into my soul. Holy crap!
Why are his eyes so big?
The
Zenith,
voids.
oh, no, I'm sorry, not Zenith. Dill, you do not have an opinion in this matter. You boil hot dogs. Like you.
I grew up with Barney, who was a lot more friendly than whatever the fuck that
The
is.
dog
Holy
is
shit!
cute. This green thing is not.
Thomas the Tank Engine had some morbid stories, but at least it was actually quite nice to look at the trains talking.
It doesn't.
Jesus Christ! That's
Okay,
scary.
so that answers the question. Okay, this was a stupid question to ask on this podcast. So let's just say-
I was probably too old for that at that point.
Okay,
but
maybe.
I grew up on Mr. Rogers. I grew up
Yep.
on a show called Big Comfy Couch. Arthur, Richard Scarry's World or whatever the hell it's called, which is actually pretty cool. And then there's like a couple like if there's like any like Canadian only shows, I probably don't remember it.
Okay. So you saw Jesus turn on the light switch when he said, "Let there be light" as well. So we're that old.
Yeah. So,
So-
Eric, could you put the spotlight on me for a second?
Of course, sir. Here it comes. Let me go and spotlight.
All right. So, you remember my back massager, right?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Well,
He's bought another one.
my back massager, for those that don't remember him, it's massage. It's a ball massager, and it's
Literally.
it's
Yeah,
literally
literally.
a penis.
Why do you
Yeah.
have it back? Why do you
Yeah.
have it back?
No, I have the upgrade. So
Oh,
this
God.
thing is
Oh,
massage
no.
gun, and I'm gonna use this on my back and whichever else it hurts. Now,
Real
the thing
talk.
is, though,
Ooh.
Those are the best.
when I was telling my one buddy about it, he's like, he said, first of all, don't try this out randomly at like 1 a.m, otherwise your neighbors will think that you're using a vibrator. And second of all, I
You better
feel sorry.
say ooh ah as you
This
use
person
it.
just a little bit.
This person's
a little
also a
bit more.
smart ass and said, sorry about your prostate.
Oh my god.
What?
Okay. All right, we got it.
I wouldn't use it if someone said that. If
I do
someone
not
said that to
remember.
me and gave it to me, I wouldn't use it. There's no way. What? Was he joking or was he being serious? Because
He was joking. He was,
Wait, who gave
'cause,
this to you? I'm sorry?
He was.
Is it Morgan? Did Morgan give this to you?
Hey, you're actually correct. Ding ding ding.
oh my god, Morgan.
Okay, Morgan, did you clean it before you send it over to it then by any
Oh
chance?
lord.
Oh no. Oh
But yeah,
no.
basically, I had a really, really nasty muscle knot, where I couldn't even stand up and walk, and just sitting in this chair was very, very uncomfortable. So
Morgan took
She-
it to Costco and they wouldn't take it back. So
Yeah.
see, it's like, hey Zen, here you have this gun. Now
yeah.
Zen, you're
So
not out of the woods.
Shibby recommended. So basically, I have the testicle gun, and I'm not going to be using it on my junk.
One
no,
single testicle.
Well,
One
no,
single testicle.
I do recall I don't know. Remember if Everis was on that episode or not? But I do recall, and we might have the quote. We might have the clip of this. But Zenith did say that he would punch himself in the nuts for money. Well, sir, you were just offered a 1080 Ti for free. That is the equivalent of cash value. So at this moment in time, we're going to have you put that on high, and we are going to have you place it over your genitalia as so.
Uh-oh. Okay.
No.
Oh no.
TOS.
Oh no.
TOS.
He's doing it.
It's not on. It doesn't have
I know
batteries.
it's not, because I was going to have you turn it onto the
Am
mic
I
so we
doing
could hear
this
the punch.
on the podcast. No, I'm not.
We're about to break TOS. Oh,
Shit.
Very,
Jesus.
figured we would need a laugh.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
It's pleasure if your name is Big Dill, because he likes being stepped on.
That's not being stepped on. That's being vibrated into another universe.
It's fine.
I'm sure that's what the
just,
advertisement said.
You will
Yeah,
just send
probably.
one of you'll just send your left nut into orbit Saturn's rings, Dill. It's fine.
You know the moon up there. It's not actually a moon. It's my testicle.
Well then, anyway, on to something more enjoyable and pleasant here. So we had a little discussion in the Discord here, and Everis had brought up that the Stardew Valley has reached a new patch, and this game's been out forever. But we all kind of got into this discussion about these simulator games. We started with the farming sims, and then we kind of made our way to, and Evers brought up a really good point about these games. These games target a very specific market of people that really do enjoy and get lost in them. So I'm going to guess Everest has some attachment to Stardew Valley in a way that
Some would be an understatement.
some, huh?
I think it's like my third most played game in Steam, if I'm not mistaken. But hold on that thought. I don't remember, where do you go to check your top?
You will go to your
I
profile.
think it's under your profile.
Your profile, yeah.
It is my number 4 play game.
How many
with
hours do you have in it?
How many hundreds of hours are in the game?
Over 600.
Nice.
Okay, you are not that. It's not that scary, because Morgan
Yeah.
had like 1 million hours in something else, Terraria, I believe.
Terraria.
I have
think it was.
1,000 hours in Terraria.
So, okay, so you're all both on the same page.
Yeah, I do.
I
love
think
Stardew.
Evers and Morgan both need an intervention.
Is there a rehab for just that, specifically that game?
It's really easy to spend a lot of time in it, because it's not just a platformer, boss fighting game. It's like there's a very deep build aspect to it, and so you can spend hours just building stuff in there. So that's honestly where a good majority of the portion of the time spending in Terraria is just building stuff. And of course, it's like in order to build, you have to farm materials. You have to go farm materials and rinse and repeat. So, it's, I don't know. I feel it's just an easy game to just lose track of time over.
So I'm going to guess that those same characteristics are what appeal you to Stardew Valley, or does Stardew Valley contain like something else that you kind of gravitate
Terraria
towards?
is different. I wouldn't even compare the two games.
Mhm.
But Stardew Valley is a comfort classic, and it's stemmed very strongly off of the Harvest Moon games, which I spent a fair amount of time playing as a kid, mostly because I didn't actually have a console to play Harvest Moon. It was more like I went to my friend's house and we would play Harvest Moon together, blah, blah, blah. Which, by the way, for those who don't know, Harvest Moon is actually Story of Seasons
Which
as that is known.
Which Harvest Moon games did you play?
I played the DS version. It would literally be called Harvest Moon DS, the OG DS.
Yeah.
And that was where you started out as a little farmer, and you're supposed to rescue the harvest goddess by getting a shit ton of sprites. So I would argue it's one of the grindiest harvest moons out there.
Yeah.
Because it was like, in order to get certain sprites, you had to like pet your farm animals 10,000 times or whatever, or like, harvest like 100 of this type of vegetable or fruit or whatever.
I feel like the Harvest Moon game that had like the greatest balance to it, but also like the most substance is probably the ones for the Nintendo Wii. Those ones were so freaking good and
Were
diverse.
Did they make them? Is it a story of seasons?
No, they were. It was still
It's its
known
own
as Harvest
thing?
Moon back then.
But they didn't like re-release it as a story of seasons game.
Like people have been asking about it, but I don't think it's going to be happening because those were the best ones in my opinion. And I played all the ones for the GameCube as well. So yeah, I know, Dill. It's farming. Let us enjoy.
We all can't catch fuzzy creatures 24/7. But it's interesting. So I kind of went down this mental rabbit hole with this stuff because I started thinking about it. Because it's not just the things like it's not just the Stardew Valleys. It's not just the Harvest Moons and things of that sort. When Morgan did the pod with us, we went on about Farmville.
Yes.
But I kind of went down this little bit of this rabbit hole, and I thought about the simulator games in general. They have this appeal to them, especially if you kind of are stuck in some kind of isolation. Like we saw a lot of it with Animal Crossing in the pandemic, where not only did Animal Crossing give someone like this mental escape from the reality they were living in, but it like allowed people to kind of like maybe live like these dreams they have. Like maybe you wanted to be a farmer someday, or you wanted to raise animals or something like that along those lines. And it's not just the farming sims, right? I'm very big on racing simulators. Gran Turismo is like one of my favorite games. I love the racing simulation of Gran Turismo. I love cars. And even before that era of stuff, there was also maybe you wanted to own a house someday. Good, thanks. That was a sour note. Thank you for that one, Dragonfly. I did not play Grid. I played a lot of Gran Turismo. I played a lot of Forza. I played like back in the old school days, like Nintendo 64 days. I played what was the one?
Eric, did you ever play Gran Turismo 2 on the PS1?
I did not get into them until I hit the PS2, which is like Gran Turismo 3 and then 4 and then 5, 6 on the PS3. That's when I got in.
Okay, I'm just curious because I actually recently got my hands on a classic PS1 with Gran Turismo 2 and Command and Conquer.
It's fantastic. Did you do the Gran Turismo 2? It's fantastic, right?
I haven't done it yet. I need to set it up and play it. So, but continue.
But on the Gran Turismo, no. And then funny enough, I actually went and watched the Gran Turismo movie that came out this past year. And the story plot, and it's actually based on a true story, is they sent a bunch of kids that were really good at Gran Turismo to a racing camp, and they actually learned how to race real race cars. And a kid actually ended up winning like Le Mans, which is like one of the hardest races. It's a very difficult race. It's basically 24 hours of racing.
Yeah.
And you would think, oh, you're just driving. No, when you're at, going hundreds of miles an hour, the slightest, jolt or anything could send you into a wall and kill you. There's a lot of focus and concentration involved. But the kid ends up going to this camp. He learns how to drive real race cars just based on his experience with Gran Turismo, which is a simulator. And then he went on and became like a racing professional race car driver, which is just beyond me and amazing. So like I thought, I was like, these people love this stuff. Even before that, like one of my favorite games that's a simulator, quote unquote, is I loved Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
Like back in the 90s, you'd build this amazing theme park with and then like I would find myself like being like, oh, my fucking pathways are filled with popcorn wrappers. Clean them up. I need more staff. I need to do these things. Like I would have loved to own a theme park someday.
Like even Sims was like a lot of fun back in the day.
Sims is not the OG, but Sims is kind of the Sims is kind of the launching pad for all these types of games. I personally like to believe.
Yeah, it popularized a lot of these simulation games.
Would you consider Stardew Valley a sim game? Because I don't.
I think it is.
It's
kind
got
of-
too many. It's the thing is that it's a sim game, but
It's got simulation elements,
there's
but it's
story
got like
elements.
but
I
it's got
think
like a
it-
lot more than just that.
The
where because
I
like
don't
if you
know.
think about it, it's
Yeah.
got combat, it's got like an actual deep story. Sorry, guys, I'm being arrested.
I just heard
kinda
that. Zen, are you okay? You're not being arrested, are you?
It's
Take out your
fine.
gun.
All right,
Take
hands
out
above
your
my
sword.
head.
Being live. Oh
Yeah.
shit!
It is kind of a life sim, and then you're like, the more you develop relationships with your townspeople, you develop more story elements. And
I think like Stardew started off as a simulator game, but then kind of like as it's gone on, it's grown more and more into something else basically, and they've added more context to it and more characters and NPCs. I've actually just got like out of curiosity from the recent update, I actually got the entire list of like the recent 1.5 update, and dear God, it's a lot.
there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There's an entire new. I don't know if you played the game when they released Ginger Island.
I played the game when it first released. Like, it was my first PC game, like that I played.
They're like, it's like their first biggest like major expansion was like Ginger Island, and I don't know if you played it, but it's an entirely new
I've not played Stardew in 7 years
world
since
zone.
it came out. Like, so I'm like very like aloof from it.
It's incredible, super fun. I would recommend going back and starting fresh and going through it again
Might do
because
a different
there's so
time.
much new stuff. I'm actually going through, and Zen's done this too, where did you play the mod pack? You played expanded, right?
Yeah.
What was the
Ex-
other one? It's like Hilltop something. What is it's
I
like
forget what it was. But yeah, expanded is nuts. Like it literally doubles the amount of content in the game, and
I
there's
almost-
even like an expansion to that game as well.
I almost like I'm playing. Let me look it up. Stardew Valley expansion mod. It's
Yeah,
gonna come
well,
with expanded, but what's the other one called?
Well, Everis does that. Like I was a big Sims person. Like I got really involved in the Sims, like in Sims 2 era, and that I consider a life simulator. It is literally a life simulator down to the bone of like you take on a job, you build yourself a house, you furnish your house, all like in real life fashion. You get a job, all these good things. I was also thinking about too, there was one a long time ago. This had to be like late 90s, and it was called Black and White. And it was on the PC only, but that game, you literally play God. Like you have villagers that
For better,
will-
for worse.
yeah, you literally have villagers that will do your bidding and all that kind of stuff, and you can control them. If they, are shitty people, you can hail hellfire and brimstone on them and stuff like that. And I'm like, this game's extreme, but again, it's a simulator. But I think people tend to gravitate these games because it is an escape for like a life that they like long for or wish they could experience. I think in a way.
Ridgeside Village. That's
That's
the mod pack.
That's a mod pack.
And I recently, and that's probably why I've jumped about 100 hours in Stardew Valley recently, is because I decided to play it again, but then add this mod pack. But I almost kind of like dislike it because it's almost now like there's too much content, and it's like, how am I supposed to do all these things in one day?
You don't
Because
stop playing.
you're
until-
timed. You're sort of timed. It's like you have to finish your day before 2 a.m. or whatever it is. Otherwise, negative impact. And so I found that it's like, while it's cool to have more content, and like what's not to love about more content, it's like, well, now it's almost like you have to split your time between these two worlds. And you end up, you're just like, oh, but I need to do this in this area. But then there's all this area that I have to worry about, but I don't have the time for this and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if I mean, I'm enjoying it, but I don't know if I think it's, I don't know.
And this
It
is you
may
bring up an
be
interesting
like
point.
it's like overwhelming.
Yeah. You
Hmm.
bring up an interesting point about this thing, because that's one of the things that turns me off about those type of games, is because you're given this list of tasks and stuff to do. You know, like you said, you have to do this stuff before your day is out, right? Or you
Yeah.
experience a
It's
negative
literally-
impact.
Sort of. I wouldn't say it's required, but it's like, I mean, obviously you got to water your plants. Eventually you get
Yeah.
sprinklers to do it for you, right? You know, you got to make money. You got to build your farm. You got to, you know, produce income, whatever,
Mhm.
right? Because without you, this town would fail. You are the supply.
So, continue. Sorry.
you don't have to do everything, but if you want to progress in certain areas, then there's some other things you need to do on top of just making your farm profitable. Like, oh, I got to give this thing to this person because I want to build a relationship with this person, but it's not required. Like, you can do it on any given day or whatever.
Does it
but,
have an
you
end
know-
game to it? Like, is there an end?
I
End
thought the
game is whatever
was-
end game is for you.
Yeah. I thought
Right.
at one point the end game was getting married. Like that's
I think
That's like
I think
one.
technically the end game is like you win Stardew Valley is like you have to get 4 like your deceased grandfather who gave you this farm, you know, comes back in a ghostly form as like you know, and he judges your farm essentially. And if it's like
Okay.
maximum, you know, maximum, it like it's like, oh, you got 4 stars, congratulations, you have exceeded my expectations for what you did with this farm, you win, you know, kind of that, like that's technically winning, I would say. But
You would just judge my 20 flamingos that I put on the front lawn.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want 20 flamingos on my front. So like Zen was playing Farming Simulator. See, so Pao is big on these, like she likes the power wash simulator, like the car wash, like tycoon simulator and all this kind of stuff. And it's just kind of like, to me, where it's like I'm paying to play a game where it basically just gives me a job, and I'm kind of
See,
like,
Yeah.
this is I don't mind sim games. Josh loves Power Wash Simulator. I love Power Wash Simulator. The one I don't understand is Truck Simulator. I don't understand, and it's probably because, to be honest, I don't really enjoy driving long distances. But the fact that people spend 4 or 5 hours driving down the highway to take a load from point A to point B is mind-blowing to me.
it's like a
Mind-blowing
lifestyle.
to me.
I think it's a
Why-
lifestyle thing,
Trucker life, baby.
because you see it as
it's,
like
it's crazy to me. It's
well,
crazy.
it's crazy
to, me
to you because you're seeing it as like, oh, I don't like driving, so why would I want to drive for 5 hours? Where someone that's
in
like,
a video game, it
Yeah,
could
where
be someone's
someone-
way to relax.
right? Well, it's more like traveling, like even in like real life. Oh, like I'm a truck driver, I travel all over the place. Yeah, I'm hauling stuff, but I'm like traveling. I've been to like 30 states, you know, that kind of thing. Where that's the appeal they see. These games are interesting.
Yeah.
They do spur a discussion where it's kind of like, oh, what do you see in it? Because like Power Wash Simulator, I'm like, girl, that's just a job. Lawn mowing simulator, like you're a gardener. Why are you paying to
I
be a
know.
gardener?
Because it's a satisfaction thing.
Mhm.
It's the same people who enjoy watching like cleaning videos or
Power Wash
Um,
Simulator, which I
power
actually do
washing
want.
videos, or it's like that transition from, oh, there's this dirty thing and I'm making it better. That's like a person, like I fall into that category.
And you make a very, very valid point, because one of Pal's favorite things to watch is those like people that come in and like reorganize people's closets and all that stuff with
Yeah,
like all the little
I dig
baskets
it.
and labels.
I dig it. I watch those videos where people take yards, like overgrown yards where you can't even see the house anymore, and then they just like, you know, make it all like trimmed, and I was like, oh, there's a house there. This is cool. Like, I don't know. It's very satisfying because I constantly drive by, you know, shoddy neighborhoods, and I'm like, man, that would be such a cute house if they just pulled their weeds or Whatever, stuff like that. I'm
Shoddy
weird like that.
neighborhood. If I didn't have to wear red or blue to be in this neighborhood, I would love it here. Like kind of thing. I get what you're saying. But
It's like, if only you pulled your weeds.
pull your weeds, sir.
I don't know. It's satisfying. It's weird. It's a, you know, there's a whole category of people.
Right, and I get it.
But-
Like, I really, really genuinely do get it. It's like an escape for people. It's stuff that they love doing. I do understand the concept of like, oh, I can play this for 30, 40 minutes. Or, you know, like I'm in between classes at school. I can pull out my Switch, play like 15 minutes of this and get some tasks done and then move on with my day. Like, I
It's
get
never
it.
15 minutes. It's never 15 minutes.
It's an hour
I
later,
know.
and then suddenly you're like, "Oh crap!"
5
what have I been
hours
doing?
later.
Dragonfly in the chat says he feels judged when you mention pulling weeds.
Is it pulling weeds?
Yeah. Or you pull the weeds.
Oh, are you saying they have a weedy yard?
Yeah, you pull the weeds. You don't clip the weeds because the root of the weed's still there.
Yeah. Or you get weed killer and just spray it all over.
Oh,
Yeah, we'd believe you can do better.
hmm
oh, Jesus.
Oh yeah.
But so yeah, it was definitely like a rabbit hole of stuff. I put hours into Gran Turismo, just driving and doing the license test and all this kind of stuff, and then trying to like take turns at certain speeds and get them done quicker. Like I went through that whole thing, and I still do.
Do you have any like current day sims that you, like, do you even, you know, do you have any like, you know, you mentioned sims, you know, what, but like, do you have any like today, like, I'd say within the last year, have you played any?
Not the last year. The one I really dove into was the Animal Crossing, thing. When the Animal
Yeah.
Crossing thing hit during the
Yeah.
pandemic, I dove into that just like everyone else did.
That's definitely a life sim.
Yeah. And it's an ironic, like, basically model of capitalism. Like, it really
Oh,
is
yeah.
life sim down to the core. Like, you owe somebody something. You always are. Like,
That
if you're
damn
gonna
Tom
survive
Nook.
in the world, But like, I did a lot
Um,
of the Sims. Sims was a big one for me. I did a lot of the Sims 2 stuff. Build yourself a big house. Like, what is it? What was the code?
Motherload.
Motherload, the infinite money code, Motherload.
Infinite money code. Yep.
And then just build a life, dude. And then you're like, yeah, I'm rich. I could buy what I want.
Were you one of those people that did like horrible things to their sim, like drowned them and locked him in a room and made him burn the house down, that kind of shit? Because there's a whole
No,
group of people
surprisingly,
who,
no, I didn't do that.
a lot of people who really enjoy that kind of.
So
one of my coworkers does that.
Are they? Yeah.
Yeah.
have any of you guys played like those like cheap simulator games?
Which one?
Which one?
So they have like a lot of like like there's like so many of them. Like a lot of them are like decently made. Like you have like obviously you have like House Flipper. Have any of you guys heard of House Flipper? But then
there's like gas station simulator.
Yeah, and then there's these really like crummy, poorly made, put together ones. Like for example, like a real estate agent simulator or parking
Yes.
simulator and all this other stuff.
I've
Have any of
watched
you guys played those?
YouTube playthroughs of those. I don't have the drive to fork out the money myself, but I'll watch someone else waste the money on a game like that.
I'm intrigued by House Flipper. That seems to be a popular one. Excuse me. House Flipper seems to be a popular one that I'm intrigued by. Goat Simulator I actually played for a bit. And Goat Simulator is just weird. It's not even a simulator of anything. It's just a game
it's
that
just
got a
weird.
simulator title.
I will actually admit that I have a soft spot for watching playthroughs of these
That's
simulator
what I'm
games.
saying. So do I. Who's your
But-
favorite? Who's your fave? Do you watch Mark?
You-
I watch Mark all the time.
I watch a person called Let's Game It Out, and he will do stuff like in Parking Tycoon Simulator, I built a nightmare parking lot that traps people for eternity. Or I turned a whole town into a monument for insanity. I glitched a video game arcade that murders people. So basically, he takes these like reality or simulator games and tries to break it as much as possible to see if he can either get it running at only 1 frame per second, or 2, see if he can trap people within like
That's so
the reality confines.
using.
I
It's
respect
so-
great. It's a
That's
lot of
so
fun.
That's
That
so
sounds
fucking
fun.
you.
The one that
And-
okay, so the one that like, and it's funny enough because this one like cripples PCs every time it comes out, is Flight Simulator, like the actual
Yeah.
Microsoft Flight Simulator. This game cripples top end PCs every time it comes out, and these dudes will put thousands of dollars into their rig just so they can build like a crop dusting plane and just crop dust like some random field. But
They actually use, I believe, they actually use Flight Simulator as a legitimate way to train new pilots.
yeah, it's actually pretty awesome. Flight Simulator is great. You just have to kind of like, if you've never touched that stuff, you kind of have to get over that hurdle of like, this is just weird. Like, why would I do, or what's the entertainment in this? But like, it's literally great game.
It's weird because I diss on Truck Simulator, but I'm like, oh, fly plane, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
Like,
but then again, you have no desire to drive a truck. You don't like driving, but
Yeah.
hell, you want to fly a plane. You're gonna want to fly a plane, you know.
well,
and-
it's like the same reason I hate running. It's boring and slow, but I don't mind riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm. The I've always wanted to get one of those, like, and I've been seeing them more and more lately, is like those racing simulator like setup rigs that people put in their houses. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's got like
like
the
10
race.
grand.
Yeah, it's got like the racing seat with the steering wheel, and it's like
Yep.
legit shit. We're talking like Momo steering wheel or like Sparco steering wheel, like legit brands. And people build these things, and they're like thousands of dollars with the shifter and everything. And I'm like, oh, we need to win that
Hey,
lotto money.
Hey,
Mhm.
Everis, take a look at the sample couple of videos.
I'm looking at this right now.
Please
built a
watch
gas-
them later after the podcast when you get a chance. They are so funny.
I built a gas station that's 100% pure insanity. I'm a
Cool.
lunatic chef that cooks food using explosives.
Nice.
Christ.
That dynamite flavor.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, they're so funny.
That's so using.
I watch this guy whenever I need like just a really good laugh, and it's really hard to make me laugh when watching YouTube videos these days. But this guy always tickles my funny bone.
So, like, is there any new simulators like coming out that?
Probably.
They're always coming out. I feel like
Yeah.
it's like easy and cheap to make, and
Yeah, I mean they have like Paleo, so like if you're looking for like farming sims, but as far as like other kind of simulators, like a lot of them are like either underground or well, except maybe like Disney Dreamlight Valley, because like would you call that a simulator?
Yeah, what's that fall under?
life simulator. It's the same thing as like
Disney Life Simulator.
Disney Life Simulator. Yeah.
And
There's
on
a
that note,
taxi live simulator coming out apparently soon.
oh, I would do
What?
it. I want to drive
Yeah,
a
what?
taxi.
Taxi live
That'd be fun.
a city driving simulator coming out literally next week.
If I can't do
Well,
it in
that
New
would
York,
be
it ain't
kinda
worth it.
cool. That'd be kind of cool because it's like if they made it realistic, they
Make it
probably
New
didn't.
York.
They probably
Make it-
didn't. But if it was
make
like
it
New
New York.
yeah, if it was like New
Yeah.
York or something,
I'm
that'd be really
walking here.
cool. Because then you could be like, you can learn New York while you play a video game.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
Like, if I can't do a taxi simulator in New York, I don't want it. Like, I just want to be a New York cab driver. But
well, I wouldn't mind doing it in any like cool major city, like Hawaii. That'd be cool.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, see,
I
but
definitely
like,
wouldn't want it to be like Albuquerque
just farmland, like for miles and miles. and
or
miles.
Yuma,
Just try-
Yuma, the lettuce capital of the world.
I spy a mile. Some begin with F. Farm. Yeah.
What?
Farm. Like, I spy
Farm. Yeah.
something starting with an F. Farms.
Farm.
Leshki did chime in when we were having this chat here. So, you know, Leshki's obviously been working and being a mom and doing her thing. But she says, as a farming game enthusiast, I can tell you that for me, it's because farming games give me that Zen moment. These games are relaxing for me, and I can play it alone or relax with someone else.
She thinks of Zen when she gets to this. Oh my god!
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Aw, you should message her and be like, "Thanks for shouting me out."
Yeah.
Many farming sims also work great on portable devices, so I can cozy up in my bed and with some tea and play.
It's free real estate. I'm at the back of your mind always.
Uh-huh.
I definitely feel like if they're not porting it to portable devices like the Switch, that you're missing opportunity for more,
Yeah.
To reach a broader audience for sure. Because there definitely is that curl up and vibe with your, your little game because I played Story Seasons recently. I don't remember which one. On the Switch, and that was like the best because I didn't want to sit on my computer. I wanted to sit on the couch, or I want to sit on my bed or whatever. And it definitely gotta have that. Have that.
I forgot. I forgot I was still on Zenith, so I'm gonna switch back to me over here. But I've heard you asked the question.
Everyone.
You asked the question, like, had I played recently? I guess this qualifies. You could tell me if it doesn't or not. But Dave the Diver was the last one, I guess, that I tapped into that was in that realm.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that game. It was so, it's so simplistic in design where it's just like, oh, you go catch these fish and then you go run the sushi restaurant. And then you're like, oh, well, I got this little challenge for you. I want this super rare sushi, but you got to go get this super rare fish to go serve it to me. So I'm like hunting for this rare fish. And yeah, that one really hooked me. That was a great recommendation. Thank you for that, Everis. That was a fantastic game and I loved it. And again, it's what Leshki touched on, where it's like I could play it on my Steam Deck in bed and just chill and before I go to sleep and just kind of relax and just do these simple tasks and just roll through it. It was great.
I'm actually minor segue here, but we don't have to talk about it for very long. I'm actually having a hard time coming with a game for you because I don't know what you've played and what you haven't played.
Oh,
I feel like that would have been a perfect example of a game that you should have played this year, but I don't.
I mean, just throw 4 or 5 of them at me or whatever that are at the top of your head, and then I'll tell you what I played and what I haven't.
I mean, Everis could always ask her for advice or any ideas if she's looking for something, right?
It's not like she has to come up with it all on her own.
No, and I was just an hour ago, I was going through my Steam and I was like, he's probably played all of this stuff.
I mean, there's probably a good chance I haven't. There's a bunch of stuff I haven't played, which is why, I'm doing the backlog channel now, where it's or the backlog show.
The
It's
backdoor channel.
No, stop. It is not a backdoor channel.
The back doors are open, by the way.
Oh, God.
Yeah, back to the back door. Guys.
Back to the back door.
But no, there's tons of stuff I have not touched. I think I've mentioned here before, I've never played Halo. I've never played the one Morgan recommended, Dragon Age. I never played Dragon Age. Never touched that one. There's a lot of stuff you'd be surprised that
You
I
play
haven't
Mass
played.
Effect?
I did do the first Mass Effect, and once you get over the hurdles of the controls and stuff like that, Mass Effect is actually a great game.
It is
better after the remake. If you haven't played the remake,
that's how I did it. I tried the original Xbox 360 one.
Oh,
and
it's
I was
rough.
Yeah, I'm like, this is bad. But
Everis, challenge Eric to playing one of the old Harvest Moon games.
I don't want to bore the guy.
That's the challenge.
That's the challenge.
It's
now
tough.
keep in mind, I do have to be able to obtain it in some way, shape, or form.
Emulation.
So if it's some weird, obscure, Japanese,
it won't be that.
Yeah.
It won't be that. I'm not
Yeah, play
super,
Mother 3, Eric.
I don't buy anything
wish.
unless I have full intention to play it someday.
Eric, I think you should play Half-Life 3. I'm like, okay,
Oh
let
my
me go
God.
find and hunt that down.
Yeah, play Half-Life 2, but in Korean.
upside down. But yeah,
Yes, and
you know,
blindfolded.
there's no specific
That's the
rules or
Australian
anything. If
version.
you feel like there's something that you know, you can ask other people to recommend for me. Just, you know, just give me a couple and I'll pay one. But yeah, everyone's got has anyone started theirs? I know Morgan started hers. Morgan started her challenge.
Oh, I should.
I can't until I finish Zelda.
Yeah.
Like
Like I said, that's why I gave the whole year.
I've only played like half an hour, but I'll get there.
Yeah. So
I have
What?
not even started.
Yeah, I've started.
I'm sad because I missed the episode. So what's everyone been told to play?
I will bring up the
I've-
list for you here. Give me 1 second.
I've been told to play Diablo 2. I'm trying to figure out a way of how to do it rather than to re-download Battle.net.
That should be easy, Dale. That's
Yeah, probably it'll be.
let's see here. I have the list here. 1 second. So here is the game challenge as it is right now before we close the episode out here. Morgan has challenged or Dill challenged Morgan to play Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Yes.
Morgan challenged Everis to play Dragon Age Origins. Zenith had challenged Dill to play Diablo 2 Resurrected, which I
Yeah.
believe is just a remake or update of the original Diablo 2. And then we're waiting to have Everis pick one for me. But then Zenith, I picked Secret of Mana for Zenith, the original
Yeah.
16-bit.
Yep.
Secret
and
of
I'm currently
Mana.
playing it.
You haven't played that? I feel like that would be up
Um,
your alley.
Well, I've only played it for about 45 minutes before, but now I'll actually get into it and try and finish it.
Oh,
That's a classic, dude. That one, I grew up on that one. So that's why I picked it. I grew up on that one when I was a kid. That
Yeah, I'll do
came
it.
in that string of like Square Enix era between, it was basically like Secret of Mana, Secret of Evermore, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI. Like
Yeah.
that Super Nintendo golden era of Square Enix, which
Yeah.
was Squaresoft at the time.
Yeah, it was also like Dragon Warrior because I was like heavily
Mhm.
into those games back then, even before Final Fantasy.
Yeah. That one's a classic. That was one of my favorites. That's, I think, my
Yeah.
first, if I remember right, that might have actually been my first foray into RPGs.
oh,
Secret of
you don't
Mana.
even own this game.
Oh,
Wait,
Secret
hold
of
on,
Mana?
maybe you do. No,
Oh, you're talking to me. Okay.
I'm still on the trying to figure out a.
Truck driving simulator. First challenge is Eric to play truck driving simulator.
Oh my gosh, what you need to do? Challenge Eric to do like Euro Truck Driving Simulator, but he has to be a couple beers in and see
my
what
no.
happens.
There's actually a video that I watched recently of someone doing that with Euro Truck Simulator, and it was hilarious.
Oh my gosh, was that Shalat?
No, it
Because
was.
he's done that where he had like 4 or 5 drinks.
No, it was Sea Dog VA. He did it. I watched it. He was literally calling up his friends while he was playing the game for help, and one of them was still live on stream while he was called when he called him.
Eric, have you
Everything you're not
played?
supposed to do. when you're
Eric,
Yeah.
have you played Undertale?
I have not played Undertale.
That's your game.
Oh, you should.
Undertale, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
I
your
will be playing
game.
Undertale. Okay, I'll do it. Undertale it is. All right. So here's the list one more time for you guys in the chat here, listening or, listen to us on the pod here. Dill has challenged Morgan to play Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Morgan has challenged Everis to play Dragon Age Origins. Zenith has challenged Dill to play Diablo 2 Resurrected. Everis has challenged me to play Undertale. And I have challenged Zenith to play Secret of Mana. There's our list. Those are our game challenges for the year. And the whole idea is, to get one another to explore new games that we wouldn't normally play or that we would find interesting or, be excited to have delved into. So that's the game challenge for the year for us, guys. On that note, that was a fun topic about the simulator games. We'll kind of tackle different genres more and more as we think about them and, just have these kind of discussions about these things. On to some administrative stuff here. So today, the first glimpse for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth should be coming out today. I'm going to finish up the edit and then upload it. And then we have episode 1 of Back to the Backlog, which is the show I'm streaming on my personal channel. It'll be uploaded to the Good People Media YouTube. So that episode 1 should be going up tomorrow. I've got that one ready to go. And then, of course, we do have some new clips ready to go. We get Hannah to upload those. And then we have episodes go up on Wednesday. So next pod episode. Now, I think Everis confirmed this. It's the one 2 weeks from now, right? Which is the
Correct. So
14th?
like March is straightforward. It's April that gets a skipped week.
Yeah. What's the next one then? It is... I don't have my calendar and I don't want to mess up my...
The 16th is our
16th.
next episode.
Thank you. I thought it was 14th,
Yeah.
but 16th. Yeah, so the next episode is going to be March 16th. On that note, does anyone have anything else before we close out the evening or the afternoon now for most people? Not
Tune
quite the
in
evening
next
yet.
time
Tune in next time. I
to see
guess.
what Everis spoils for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my turn. I can spoil something. Yeah.
You know what? That's actually a good episode topic. It would
Yeah.
be really
Spoiling?
if we screwed that would be messed up for all of us and we just spoiled something for someone.
Oh.
Hey Zenith, did you know this happens in this game you're playing?
Personally, I'm unaffected. Sorry.
I mean,
Rabbit trail here, but
technically-
personally, I'm not affected by it because I feel like it's about the journey, not the destination type thing.
Yeah.
That's how
I'm in the middle.
Dill clearly is upset.
I'm in the
know.
middle. So like if I'm one of those ones where it's like if like for example something like a 7-book series and I've gotten through 6 books and then someone's like, "Oh yeah, the ending of that book," you're like, "Really?" Cuz that is literally just time that has just been
When
know?
I was playing Last of Us Part 2, I had people following me on accounts that were basically spoiling the end of the game.
Oh.
And then and it was right before I was raiding as well, so then they also got spoiled. So we were just
Wow.
mad.
Yeah, I bet you were.
and then stuff I really really care about. Like for example when those Star Wars movies were coming out like the episode 7, 8s and 9s when those were coming out in
Oh
theaters,
yeah.
I was showing up in line at the theater and I was wearing headphones. Like I do
Yeah,
not want to
I
hear
don't blame
people
you.
coming out of the theater talking about it. Nothing.
I remember when the first one of the sequel came out, I was in Meg's chat and there were people who were literally posting spoilers, or like using accounts post spoilers like on her chat, and I was like chaotic.
Yeah. It's bad. That and now those
Yeah.
type of things, I go there opening night. Like I'll be there Thursday at like fucking midnight just so I
Oh.
don't get spoiled on Twitter.
I think I did that for Marvel's for MCU for like especially for the Spider-Man stuff with Spider-Man No Way Home especially. I did not want to be spoiled for
Mhm.
anything for that movie. I watched it the second night it came out and I didn't get spoiled once and I was very happy.
Nice.
I was kind of the one person that was like digging for like hints and details because I really want to know.
Want to know
you,
what?
you were invested.
I was like looking up all these like accounts where it's like, aha, I bet this person works for the company. I'll figure this shit out.
Jesus Christ. You're checking LinkedIn's.
No,
People have done
we
that.
will not go about that rabbit hole that I went on. But yeah,
Hmm.
Nice. That's it for today's episode, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back on the 16th. As always, Dill, myself, Everis, and Zenith, and we will see you guys again soon.